Welcome to Adventures in Alberon, our 5th edition D&D campaign where we're all very serious and totally adult. I'm Joe Treff, your Dungeon Master for the evening. I will bring you out to the rest of our group. Joining me, as always, are Matt, Miles, Allie, and Tina, also adults, also responsible individuals. Thank you for joining us for this 5e adventure. We have a couple of announcements before we get started. First of all, there is some new art that is up on our Instagram, which is at Alberon RPG. We have the portrait of Carranza Billows, which went up this week. There is a whole slew of new art that's going to be coming out. There is a finger gang portrait that is the entire party. There is going to be art of Gamble, Meliora, and Pericola, which is going to be great, and I believe Glub is going to make it in there as well. Nice. We have some new stuff up that is going to be on Instagram and on our store this weekend. But there is a Proust Brewery t-shirt that is now part of our store. The logo for that is going to be up on Instagram tomorrow. Whew. For the emotes, I finally figured out an answer to what's going on with that. So, follower emotes are a beta feature. They're not something that everybody has access to. They're not something that have been completely sorted out yet. That was a terrible sound. Yeah. Oh God. The emotes, the follower-only emotes, which are based off of each of our characters, are available to you for free if you follow us, but only currently on the web version of Twitch. On the phone, it is something that is being worked on, and it will come out when it comes out. Additionally, there are some other emotes that are up. If you donate bits, there are bit tier rewards now. So depending on the number of bits that you donate, you unlock certain emotes. I know the first one, I want to say, I can't remember what order they're unlocked in, but depending on the number that you donate, you will unlock a certain emote that you can use that is one of the player's faces. They're all up right now and active. I believe 3 out of 4 of them are currently unlocked by different people, but there is one that nobody has reached quite yet, which I think is yours, Matt, because it has Neffy on it, so it's kind of like a 2-for-1.
Yeah, 2-for-1 special.
Yeah. So yeah, those are called Bitbacker emotes. Those are live now. The website has been updated. There is a very large update to the lore section, which brings us to about 115 pages. There is also Heinrich's journal, which has been updated through last session, I believe. That is all up on alberonrpg.com. And then finally, actually no, because I did this right before. If you look at the bottom on the web version of Twitch, in our About section, there is a link to a store. I believe there's other ways that you can get to it. There's a number of new products that are up now besides just a t-shirt and a baseball shirt. There is like a crop top. There is a fitted t-shirt. The Proust Brewery shirt is going to be live as of tomorrow, I believe. There's also mugs, tumblers, a whole slew of other things in a variety of colors, so check that out.
Tchotchkes.
Yeah, and thank you to the person who bought that, actually. I think it was the person who redeemed points, then they went and bought a shirt anyway. Nice. So, X-Blazer, if you're out there, please let us know your shipping information. We'll send you another one. And with that is all the announcements we have, except for the sound effects that we use. You could hear this lovely lounge music that's playing in the background, courtesy of Sirenscape, which is a digital tool set for dungeon masters or anybody who wants to inject a little bit of strange fantasy or science fiction based sound into their life.
We're still looking for the best replacement for Jungle Beats.
I went on a trek for Jungle Beats, and there's a story behind that I'll tell you during the break. But
I kind of like this though.
Mm-hmm.
This is like,
it ain't the same, but it's aight.
It's not the
absolutely.
same. No. But it's got like a nice, it's kind of soothing, you know?
Yeah. And with that, I'm going to stop playing that and start our recap.
No more soothing.
No more
Can't
soothing.
be soothed.
Only stress.
No. Well, I'm blinded right now currently, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe
still
you
hear
and
the
Knocker.
pleasant jazz music.
Maybe you're like Daredevil.
No. That's racist against tieflings.
Well, I mean Daredevil's just a lawyer.
Finger gang. He's just a lawyer. Finger gang. Last we played, you met Thalmir, gosh. Almost, right? Peridot and reunited with Nazara, all members of Uriel's Watch, the organization that serves Uriel, this planetar angel, similar to you, Heinrich. Nazara had a captive with her named Tenzin, who you all treated with a varying amount of respect. But Shay, ultimately, you ended up knocking him out, and Heinrich, you healing him with healing light. Formed a pretty brutal interrogation tactic that paid very quick dividends.
Yeah.
You learned that the surviving members of the Midnight Assembly, a cult that you had all faced months prior, had moved to Dungannon across the Sunbreaker or the Sunchoker chain, and were now operating out of Dungannon, raising dead and performing various other acts. You learned of a planned robbery, transmitted by anonymous message in Infernal of 5 words. You were able to determine that this message given to this gentleman was meet on sun and moon. Through various bits of investigation, you managed to track that location to an individual block on the Anchor, this mesa that is part of Dungannon. You found this pawn shop that you had passed previously, Dustmock's pawn shop. And Heinrich, you looking for a statue or some kind of a clue as to what you're looking for, managed to light the candle of the veil, tearing a hole in this reality and entering into the ethereal plane. Stepping through the door, you were able to grab this silver grotesque, but you were also confronted by these spectral wraiths, seeming to wait for whoever else was supposed to show up. Whew. Meanwhile, Morwen, you raised some interesting points to Akka about stealing a book from the Lorebinder Academy. Akka, you attempted to explain this by using a metaphor for a library for the Dungannon Antiquities Collective, an organization based around categorizing, cataloging, and tracking, and obtaining, when possible, magical items. You mentioned that when a book comes due, somebody needs to collect that book. And in comparing yourself to that, Morwen asked if you were thus the librarian in this scenario. Out of character and much more metagame, Tina mentioned that you're much more like the librarian's hitman. But either way, Morwen brought up an interesting point. What is it that Akka tends or plans to do with the artifacts that she possesses? Akka managed to sidestep those questions for the most part. You managed to join Heinrich and Shay as they began this combat with these wraiths. You found the object of your search, and Heinrich, you were able to grab it and move it beyond these wraiths' grasps, although you did almost lose your fine boots in the process.
Well, they're no longer fine, so I did technically lose.
They're like okay boots.
They're just foot covers.
They're wet. After defeating these wraiths, you made your way back to the Doontop Manor, this sandstone, light, almost orange sandstone raised structure that Uriel's watch is now working out of, itself sort of on the bluff of the northwestern face of the Anchor. You cast Identify on this grotesque. You learned some of the properties, but found that the item was magically obscured in some way. Akka, with a high roll, you were able to remove whatever it was that obscured this item. And in doing so, felt this intense wrongness fill the room, which is where we're going to begin this evening. Give me just 1 second here.
I feel that every day.
Feel that every day, you said?
The intense wrongness.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I mean, that whole conversation before we started streaming.
I thought that was intense
There's
rightness.
still residual wrongness from that.
Still gotta get the sound right on this.
This sounds like very non-intense
Wait, this is not even really the one that I wanted.
music.
Oh.
Yeah, I know, really. Look at that.
We're gonna street fight this statue.
Yeah, it's the Sharks and the Jets.
Round 1.
Ready, fight. So I redid all of my music and now I can't find anything. Here we go. The room grows darker. You find yourself within this kind of sandstone room, high ceilings, kind of stretched out, almost no furniture. This place empty when you found it. As you sit there, you begin to hear these discordant whispers. First the wind and the storm outside, but then the wind seems to shift and you can hear things drifting in and out. The shadows that are high on the ceiling seem to almost crawl and swell downwards, threatening to swallow you whole. Morwen, could you make a perception check, please?
Ooh. 25.
Okay. You kind of glance at your side, and in this moment, as everything gets darker, there is this purple glow coming from your side. Loose your sword, detecting some kind of an undead presence. Akka. In this moment, you learn a few things. Or no, sorry. So, Akka, you cast Dispel Magic.
Yes.
There is an element to this, although you do not know necessarily the direct qualities, but you feel the sense that there is something else that kind of now is aware of your presence. Shay, what is your passive perception?
20.
20? Make a perception check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You you're still outside, correct?
I believe so.
Okay. So, for a moment, outside where you are, in the rain, kind of looking out through now, and here and there are these kind of thunder that rolls through. You had seen this creature lope off into the darkness, this zombie. And at once, almost, as this happens, you feel the wind pick up and begin to shudder the elements of this building beneath you. And in that same moment, through the alleyway, you hear again this... And suddenly, you can hear the mud... And this creature emerges, seeming to almost be drawn towards the building that you are on. Still a good 120 feet up, and as it drags its way through, you see it just kind of glide into this like a wrought iron fence that goes up over this short stone wall. The arms outstretch over top, and it kind of stumbles back before and kind of again and again.
Am I up higher than it?
Yeah, you're probably so up on top of this building. It is a single-story building, but raised up on stilts. So you're easily 28, 29 feet in the air.
Okay. I'm going to wait until it gets close enough, and then I'm just going to drop down, spear out on top of it.
Okay, it's going to take a second, so we'll
That's
get
fine.
back to that.
Well, seeing that my, that Lisa's blue, I'm just gonna be, dead people! Dead people! I'm gonna try to find everyone, dead people!
You look
Dead
around.
people.
So scanning the room at this point, you can see there is Nazara, this elf who has the cloak still wet and drawn around her, but she has a crossbow in her hand. Thelmir, who you guys met previously, the other elf, another member of Nazara's watch, has this short sword just drawn in his hand. They all seem to be looking up at these shadows that are now crawling across. Here and there you can hear just these little bits, almost voices, but you can't actually pick out any words. Heinrich, you had cast Identify previously. And so in this kind of uproar as all of this happens and you look at this grotesque, or you don't look at this grotesque, I guess, but you
Has it
stay...
been enough time to see again?
Yeah, we'll say it's been 12 seconds.
Okay,
Why not?
let me just turn that off.
So as your eyesight kind of returns, and you have the one gold eye, the one black again, this idea fills your mind that things are being pulled towards this grotesque. And you recognize, as part of that Identify spell, this is a cursed object.
Sure.
You get the sense that undead creatures will be drawn to it within a certain radius.
Okay.
And given the things that are happening as you look up and see these shadowy tendrils snaking through, that's a pretty big radius.
Sure. Can I just put it right back in the bag?
Yeah, sure.
Remove it from this dimension for a bit.
Right back in the bag. And as you do that, it's like light just picks up in the room. There are no flame sources.
Can I pull it out? Can I keep doing like this? Just to...
Are you doing that?
No, I'm not.
So as you put it back in, suddenly it's as if everything withdraws. Suddenly, Shay, cutting back to where you are up on this roof, you see this kind of stop, and the creature kind of turns and then again lumbers off and into the alley to the east.
I want to keep an eye on where it's going as long as I can.
Okay. We'll get back to that. Nazara looks at all of you, kind of seeing that. Oh,
No, I'm just like, yeah, so I'm going to keep that in there for now.
no, that seems like the best course of action.
Until we find a good place to put it to maybe draw them away from where they're headed normally.
To draw who?
Everyone,
All of the undead that are being summoned to the east, right?
something might be scrying on us now.
Okay.
You see, Thelmir, this elf you had seen previously, and you've seen this ability manipulated a few times, but the celestial glyphs, you see a ring almost flare to life around one eye, sparks going across the cheek and hitting the ground, and he looks around. He shakes his head. I don't see anyone.
Whatever was on that object, when I dispelled it, I got a sense that it heightened the bond between whatever the source of this is, maybe, and us. I feel like whatever is controlling this might.
I think it's controlling them. As far as I could tell, as soon as I put it away, they kind of. Why else would
But they-
someone be seeking
I
it
felt
if
a
they
great
didn't
sense
control it?
of wrongness.
Well, yeah, I mean, you and me both, and maybe everyone else in this room. I think that. Huh? What?
No, just did the light go down on loose?
I just think
So looking down at Luce, you can see just slowly the glow retreating and fading back to a mundane metal.
we should choose our words wisely in case anyone is listening.
From here on out? While we hold this thing forever?
I mean, I generally try to do it whenever, but that's just me. It
Mm.
seems to be different with you, but
Right, right.
I'm saying until we figure out what's going on, at the very least,
Okay.
try to, Heinrich.
Sure.
Heinrich, within your mind also, you do learn using identify if there are spells that are connected to an object. So with this removed, you do get the sense that there are several spells connecting to this. They are Magic Jar, Soul Cage, Sequester, and Rast's Fracture.
I'm gonna need a list of that.
Sure.
I'll still write it down.
But I'll send it to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are the spells that you know are affecting.
Sorry, Magic Jar, Soul Cage.
Sequester
Uh-huh.
and Rast's Fracture.
I don't know that.
Did we just destroy a Horcrux?
Alright.
Sorry.
More like unleashed a Horcrux.
Are we
Okay.
all in separate rooms? We are,
No, we're
right?
all-
No, Shay is the only one who's currently outside and up on
Alright.
top.
Well, I guess
Oh.
I'll turn to you guys and be like, alright, well, okay. So as long as this is in the bag, it's somewhere else in my portable personal area.
Your purse?
Yeah. No one can find it. No need to worry about that.
I can find
For the
it.
most part.
Oh, okay.
Oops, sorry. How did it go with the our captive person, I suppose?
Oh, I have no idea. Is he still here?
You turn to the elf who nods to you. He's as unconscious as he ever was.
Oh, he's fine.
Okay.
There's
okay.
some fish up front.
Sure.
Conde Nast.
Confused. But alright.
There was more to, like, there was the statue,
Yeah.
and there was a couple other things too, right? I'm asking this out.
In terms of
Statue,
what?
There was a druid named Rex.
The
There was a
druid named
there were
Rex,
ritual
yeah.
scrolls
The
and
ritual
some
scrolls.
ash that was needed
Yeah,
for
and we were gonna go and.
or no, ash needs raw materials to
Yeah.
perform this. Is it a person ash?
Yeah,
It
so
was
you
a
had heard
person
it was a
ash.
person named Ash Wilder.
Oh, Wilder. Ash Wilder. So the next thing would be is probably finding either of these two people, because these scrolls, unless we get lucky with another message to cultists that we can capture, I feel like that's going to be a little harder to find unless you have any idea of scrolls that would pertain to the nature of this grotesque and summoning undead and controlling undead and all of that kind of crap.
Do
Just
I?
like ask your book.
Specifically, what qualities are you looking for?
Do I know of any scrolls or spells that would be in scroll form, I guess, that would relate to this grotesque and the gathering of the other ingredients
Make
that
a
we know about.
history check. You've thought about this previously, and you didn't come up with anything, but with a little bit more information, maybe.
It was very close to a natural 20. but
Unfortunate.
it's Now, I believe it's a 15.
15?
Yeah.
Okay. There are a lot of items that have to do with the undead. Even recently, you heard about some bells that are connected to necromancers for sale somewhere in Dungannon. Any items specifically connected to the grotesque? Nothing you could think of. You said something, Ellie? Okay.
All right. Turn to and either of the Uriel's Watch members. All right. Well, that's one. What about the next step in? What was the leader's name? Who's out in the Badlands?
Watchmaster Paye.
Paye. Right. Paella. Right.
Yes.
Well, what would the next step of at least your plan be? If he's out there reconning and all of that.
Well, the elf that you know as Thamir speaks up. We've received this, and we know a little bit about what they're trying to do. We need to get this to the Watchmaster. If we're going to conceal it within your bag, perhaps we could borrow that, or if you could bring it.
Probably the latter. It's a mess in there. It's a lot of good stuff, too. All right. How did you capture... I'll just gesture over to the door. That fellow. And,
Nazara kind of looks over to the door and smiles. Well, somewhere closer to the east side of the anchor. We caught him picking around a industrial area. Warehouses, factories, that sort of thing.
Right. Might it be possible to find more of them and knock off a few more of these items? Or do you not think they're all here?
I think it's a great idea.
Right. Maybe we can find out where this guy was staying and start there. Because I do know we have some company coming back in a few days. So we
Good
can't
company or
quite
bad
leave.
company?
Bad company. I mean,
Good company.
Okay.
Family.
Your family.
Yeah.
Well, it will be interesting. Are they all tabaxi?
No.
Even more interesting.
Not a
Yeah.
single one.
Okay. She turns. I could show you or tell you where it is that we found him, and you could look yourselves, or I'd be happy to take you.
Sure, you come along in case anything else springs to mind.
Are we going now? Or?
Well,
You guys didn't eat your parts of the fish. I'm gonna eat it.
okay. I don't think I'm hungry.
You go over to this halfling, and he's still kind of like picking at the fish, and he seems pretty nervous. Ooh. But you go ahead and eat some of the fish. It's still just as good, if not a little bit colder.
Now I'm ready.
Unless there's anything else to do here, and
Yeah, eat
someone
more
can
fish.
someone can keep an eye out on that guy. We got his name, but at this point, I don't feel it's
Thamir, yeah, Tenzin.
Tenzin, yeah.
Thamir nods and just says, "I'm happy to continue keeping an eye on him."
wonderful.
He hasn't stirred. He's been quite an easy captive.
Huh.
Wait, this guy stared at me earlier.
Yes, he did.
Hey, why'd you stare at me earlier?
Such good roleplay.
Mm-hmm.
He looks at you and kind of looks around the room. Would you like to hear here?
Here.
Are you saying that because it's better said privately?
Not everybody keeps things secret, and I don't know what your...
Sure, I'll start now. I'll start keeping secrets now. Yeah. Well, yeah. What's up?
You kind of
Sidebar.
motions to one of the hallways if you want. You can go down and talk to them.
Yeah, guys. One sec. Try the fish.
Okay.
One sec. It's good.
I'm gonna have.
No, you, Heinrich. I ate your portion.
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
Everybody else, yours is there, though.
I'm gonna have Nod as soon as they're like around the corner. I'm gonna like poof Nod into existence and have it like a light just around the corner, and then I'll
Make a
listen.
stealth check for Nod. Yeah.
Yeah,
why not?
and then I'm gonna have Nod listen in.
That's pretty rude.
Yeah, I know. So
How
rude to
rude.
listen in on a
You
conversation.
eavesdrop on your friends all the time?
She's not very forthcoming with her origins, and we keep getting close. And I think she doesn't know, so I'm trying to learn as much as she is and interpret it maybe better than she could reiterate it.
That sounds like a severe lack of trust in your friend.
Well, you're new to this group, so sometimes it needs a translator with Morwen.
Well, sometimes, people
All right.
like to keep things to themselves. Maybe you stay out of their private matters.
Interesting.
Now let
All
me hear
right,
your
that's
secrets
a
and spill it like hot goss.
that's an 18.
An 18.
Yeah.
Spill that tea.
What a guy.
So the celestial owl just appears. Little bits of kind of like these feathers go off and then evaporate into celestial glyphs. There is just a brief second where you can see Nazar kind of flinch back and appreciate the fact that there is now an owl in the space.
Mm-hmm.
She smiles.
She
and
knows
says,
Nod.
I still wish I could do that.
Yeah. Nod's awesome.
And you see Nod, not because of that stealth check, not flying, but actually just kind of waddling over to the
Okay.
corner. Quietly peeks around.
Mm-hmm.
You down this hallway, you go around a corner and maybe like 30 feet down, you get to the edge of where it becomes almost narrower again. You can see there's a door off to your left and then a big open room in front of you. But this member of the watch turns to you. You're not tabaxi.
I beg your pardon.
Is this news to you?
Honestly, I don't even know anymore. That's how I've been, calling myself. But I've never felt fully tabaxi. I've never really met another. I'm not really sure.
He kind of nods, a little bit uncertain as to what to do with this. Your affect, Mora's affect is always kind of the same. But he looks and says, there is an ability that I have where I can peer beyond what is presented to me. It is a measure of true sight. When I look at you, there is something else. Something wilder.
Go on.
That is it. You come from somewhere far away.
You can't tell me from where?
No.
Or from what?
When two creatures are fond of each other, oftentimes they engage in physical, intimate acts.
Yeah, like fighting?
At this point, you with Nod, are you doing anything hearing the sex ed conversation?
Yeah, I'm just like, oh.
Did you say
Poof, not away. It's like,
That's enough.
what?
no, I couldn't make it out.
What are they talking about?
I couldn't make it out.
We could fast forward this.
They
like,
went real
give
far
it like
away.
a 5-minute talk of like what? What?
Every now and then down the hallway, you hear Morwen's voice just echoing off the stones.
Oh, shit!
Two of
Did
them?
you do that?
Is it supposed to look like that?
Oh my god!
5 minutes goes by, and Thamir returns to much wiser Morwen.
Did you guys know? No. That's my secret I'm keeping to myself.
Morwen thinks that she's discovered this
key
deep,
is to
dark
life.
secret. Fantastic. Okay, so basic sex
These
ed.
fools.
Oh boy. Okay, so that happens. At this point, it's drawing close to midnight. The storm continues outside.
All right.
Outside. Make a perception check. It's not hard to track this thing.
It's another natural 20.
Okay.
I feel like the white parts of your dice are heavier than the blue.
GPS.
Are those the new ones?
Yeah, it's the new
nice.
Nice
Nice
dice.
dice.
Nice.
You mean the
I know.
Wild Earth dice?
I
Not
did-
Sponsored.
Not a sponsor. I did this thing where I started drawing upside down on this book. Okay, so you watch this thing travel, and as it does, it almost seems to kind of navigate through alleyways. There is a point where you do hear this kind of shout. You see somebody else run out of the alleyway. And at that point, you see this thing change direction for a good 30 feet. But as this person fades down the street, this zombie, way too slow, kind of stops. And you see for almost a minute, it just stays in the rain. Every now and then, the lightning cracks behind it, and you can see it just sitting. These kind of empty eye sockets. And then it just kind of starts wandering back to the east. You lose it maybe 600-700 feet down the anchor, and seems to be heading just east.
Once I lose sight of it, is there any other odd movement?
In this part of the anchor, no.
Okay.
For the rest of you. Or are you staying out?
I am staying out.
Okay. So for the rest of you.
Never mind. Sorry.
No.
Okay. I'm gonna ask what's his name. Who am I talking to?
This is Thamir.
I'm gonna ask him one more question.
Sure.
Is there anyone that you know that could give me more information on this? No, the first part, not the second part. I got. Yeah.
On the nature of who or what you might be.
Yes.
Watchmaster Paye has been to places far beyond Alberon. You might know.
Ooh. He's got connections.
So
Watchmaster.
we could go with.
Wait. Oh, wait. I'm confused.
This is all Uriel's watch, people.
Yeah.
But he's not with us right now.
No, he's out in the Badlands.
Yeah, he's in
Okay.
Guntir Badlands.
Okay.
I'll get the map later. I'll show you guys.
Okay.
Mr. Paella.
Yes.
All right. How
So
tired are we feeling right now?
You guys are getting close to midnight. You guys got in pretty early, so Morwen's feeling okay.
Well,
Morwen
sure.
took a nap.
Slept the whole
Off
day.
the
Yeah.
hangover.
For the rest of you, you guys probably have about 3 hours until you start hitting exhaustion levels.
So to Nazara, is that enough time to get to and from wherever you found this guy?
Yeah, just a little bit under an hour to get there.
Perfect. Do that. Sniff about, come back, rest, formulate plan.
Sounds like a plan. Where is your friend?
She'll see us and rejoin if we're outside, assuming she's still out there keeping an eye on things.
Very well. As you can see, we don't have much here in terms of an established base, but you have all helped a good amount, and so for just a little bit of spending money for tomorrow. She pulls out the little bag that Morwen, you had seen, she had taken previously off of Tencent, the actual money. And as she draws it open, a couple pieces of gold fall out and kind of ting, ting, ting onto the ground, along with a few pieces of what looked like maybe like candy wrapped up in wax paper. But she...
Of what?
Candy?
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. Second
Did
here.
they fall out?
The candy or the gold?
The candy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna mage hand, try to pick them all up, like all the gold and stuff, and hand them back, and then kind of like pocket one
Okay.
discreetly.
So you make a sleight of hand check for the discreet one. You kind of
One
make
of the
this
candies.
mage hand separate from your armor the
Is that one of your
beautiful
flaws?
calligraphy move.
No.
And it kind of scoops
Can't
up.
not say yes to candy.
Sleight of hand.
Yeah.
17.
The hand slides along the ground, and though it is sort of spectral, it becomes real
Well, it's
around these
the
things.
mind mage hand.
Yeah.
So it's
Invisible.
just-
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So
it's just
suddenly,
invisible mage hand.
you watch as these little bits of candy float up
And the coins.
suspend, and suddenly, just one by one, form a pile. Nazara goes to grab them and then reaches back and watches
Like,
this.
Drop them into her hand.
She takes them back. Thank you.
Yeah.
She looks at these all. Oh, wow. If you have not had any of the sunset saltwater taffy, you should have some. It's been impossible to find lately.
I would like one.
Good on you, Tenzin. She kind of turns and looks over at the doorway. She picks the candy out and kind of just places it over. I guess just holds it out for whoever wants them.
I already have one.
Sure.
I'll try one, I guess.
Okay. Roll a d6, Matt.
Well, presumably.
I'll
A
grab
D6.
one for
Oh, for the
Shay.
flavor? Is this for the flavor?
This is for the flavor, yeah.
Nice.
It's important. It's really important.
3.
3. So you take a strawberry
Ew.
piece of saltwater taffy. No. Saltwater. Or, sorry,
Alas.
strawberry.
Ew.
Strawberry.
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 Morwen, that would mean that you get a grapefruit piece along with a lime piece. So whichever one you want to keep for Shay is up to you. Heinrich, you get an orange piece.
Oh, I
Oh.
definitely got the best flavor. Nice.
Well, they're made locally, so it's all local things. Seasonal.
Not
But,
bad.
like I said, it's been impossible to get. So enjoy them while you can. In addition, she hands out 15 gold pieces to each person.
Yay, except
Ooh.
for Shay. But that doesn't matter, it's Shay. You'd try to eat one, wouldn't you?
No, she's
Just
smart enough to
kidding,
know
I'm
that.
kidding. Candy and candy coins?
She would probably
Regular
give all
coins.
15 for a piece of candy.
100%.
Yeah. Wow. Almost crossing that benchmark saving number. Alright. Well, thank you. Wasn't expecting that since we were doing something else, but that's great. Shall we?
She turns and looks at you. You're ready to go. Anything you want to do before? Morwen, anything you want to do before you guys head out?
I'm good.
So once more, you head out and into the storm. Shay, you watch now as suddenly, and you can hear the door open up against the wind, and then your compatriots make their way out.
I want to follow them,
Okay.
but up high
Are you staying
then-
hidden?
as much as possible.
Make a stealth check.
22.
22. Okay. Sticking with the rooftops, you're able to stay relatively hidden. It's dark. It's raining with the wind that's howling by. For a lot of people, hard to see. Nobody's looking up and into the storm. So for you, you feel pretty quiet. Easy to track these people, not making any particular effort to hide. But for all of you, is there anything that you're doing as you walk? You begin to walk north and then begin to kind of slowly make your way further to the east.
So, where are we heading?
Nazara turns around, the cloak now kind of drawn over her face, but we're going to where I found Tenzin, the captive.
Right, but where is that in the city?
Oh, it's in the eastern anchor. So the area that is called, give me a second here.
So, kind of closer to where the Tufei Museum is?
Yeah, so you guys are heading towards eastern anchor, and then Sonoso is, the Tufei Museum is on eastern Sonoso.
Right.
So you cross,
Cross the
the
bridge.
Ruby Bridge, yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that we weren't going in like the opposite direction, so that it's like a 3-hour trip to get back. Because I'm getting sleepy.
Alright, that's why I asked ahead of time how
It's
long
an hour
it would
there.
take.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I just want to make sure, because if it was an hour that way as opposed to an hour this way,
No, it does make a difference, absolutely.
then that's like 2 more hours in the opposite direction.
Oh, well,
It's-
I'm staying back at the Ariel's Watch.
So it's an hour to get to the place that we're going. 50 minutes, if you must know. To get to the Tufei Museum across the bridge would be probably another 45 minutes.
Okay. Well, I already knew that. 'Cause I'm
Right. We're going to the place near the I think it's called the Travelers Hall. Give me a second, I'll look it up.
While we're walking, I'm trying to think of places that might have the sorts of items in the city that we're looking for, like occult items, I guess.
Make a history check.
I want to do the same, but it's probably different because mine would all be in like trading
Black
and that kind of
market.
stuff.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So-
Make a history check. Those are
Oh
very
my
different
god.
groups.
Terrible. That's a 6.
Okay.
Bad rolls.
Mine wasn't great, but it's a 12.
12.
I got a natty 1.
There's a lot of magical items at the Dungannon Antiquities Collective, and you'd imagine in consulting with Mr. Gift or with Drea, you could probably learn a little bit more
Probably
about
have
those
to
things.
Just talk to them.
You could definitely talk to them. Morwen, I mean, you could go to the Dungannon Public Library. There's books there, and you've heard that there's information in those.
Waste of time.
Right.
There are
Can't
other
even
take them.
places, but for the two of you, it tends to kind of elude you. You do know there's tons of, probably not in the middle of the night, but there are people that trade in the docks. You do know of Calessian's Golden Exchange, and do know that that is a place that has magical items and things of that nature. You've heard, given your background, that there are less savory things kept there as well. Not less savory, less legal.
Good. I know that.
So you know that.
I'm also going to be looking at loose this whole walk just to make sure.
Okay. Every now and then, as you walk, there are moments where it does glow with that purple. Weekly, most of the time. Make a survival check.
Okay. And whenever it does, I'm going to nudge whoever's next to me and be like, what am I doing? Survival?
Yep.
Oh. 6. Am I alive?
Okay. So you take
6
loose.
undead jump out at you. You are, in fact, dead.
So you take loose and you kind of show people. You see suddenly begins to glow. You turn around, you grab Nazara, and Nazara turns, and as you look, it's just completely back to mundane. She looks at you. It is fairly wet out here, so if we could just get there and back without any of the distractions, that would be great.
I mean, it's like, I'm pointing out where there's dead people.
She looks around.
Sword knows.
She looks down at the sword.
You'll see.
Okay. And she turns and continues.
Doing it each time.
Okay. And with that roll, almost every time you kind of pull it out, and as soon as somebody looks, it's just back to mundane. But over the course of 45 minutes, you make your way through the darkened streets, passing very few people. There is a point where you do pass one patrol, which appears to be somebody who is a little bit higher ranked in the Dungannon Navy. Is there anything that you're doing when that happens?
Definitely like blending in with the crowd so that I don't stick out.
Make a stealth check.
Okay.
Morwen does the Assassin's
Like walking
Creed,
behind.
just walking.
Exactly. Just like,
Magically
forgot.
now I'm something else.
all right, it's a 25.
A 25?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
As you guys walk for a moment, as you pass somebody, you can see Nazar just kind of nod through the rain. This individual dressed in black with these golden sort of patterns on the sleeves nods back. You look around, you don't see Morwen. The red coat, the bright red patchwork leather coat, just gone in the dark air. About 50 feet later, suddenly you're aware of the tail swish, and Morwen's back with the group. But you make your way there without issue. And as you transition through the streets, it goes from these residences, 1s and 2 stories, to these larger stone buildings that rise up 2-3 stories. You can see there are windows, no glass, but open spaces on the sides. These much more like warehouses. And she comes to a point where you are in like a 4-way intersection, these large structures on either corner. She gestures around. Right around here.
So just outside, not in any one particular.
Yes.
Well, that wouldn't be probably why. Well, where is Morwen?
Morwen.
Hi.
Oh,
Right in the middle of the
yeah.
group.
There you are. Do you think we could use your skills to try to find out which one of these buildings our friend was staying in? We can sort of check the outsides as well as you're doing it, but I figured you don't seem to have a problem getting into places.
Yeah, well, I mean, are you just asking me to go inside the buildings?
Yeah, just see if any of them have like a temporary home set up for this guy who was probably squatting, because this doesn't look very residential to me.
Sure.
And
Okay.
I'll
But there's door number 1.
like I'll like nod to Nazara and then to Akka and be like, all right, should we just maybe, not too split up, but just take looks for broken down doors or anything like entrances that may have been used by this guy to get in and out? something like that to see if we could pinpoint which of these buildings you may have been staying in.
Zara looks at all of you and kind of gestures down, kind of towards the eastern alley. He was heading in this direction.
Perfect.
So that is a good
That's even-
start.
Yeah, totally.
She kind of heads along the right side of the street and then turns back. I'm going to take this side of the street.
I'll take the other one.
Very well. Shay, you see briefly, everybody stop. And there's this conversation that happens. Suddenly Morwen pops up in the middle of the group and people kind of like start backwards. And then they kind of split up and begin to walk down the street on either side. Are you doing anything?
I mean, throughout the walk, would have been looking for suspicious movement
Okay.
of people or things. And then I think at this point, finding the highest point I can sit or squat and just kind of keep an eye on them the best I can.
Okay, make a perception check.
Also, can you see Moose glowing blue and me keeping like
Every
oh,
now and then, yeah. So it's not
Like
blue.
no
it's
one
this,
else
it's
is
this
like-
faint
It's
purple.
purple.
Oh,
And so every now and then, one of the easiest things to track is that Morwen suddenly will see it, and you see her get like visibly excited and turn, and as soon
Never
as somebody
shaken her
turns
head.
around, just whoop, dead. So Shay is the only one who actually sees that it is in fact happening. And Shay, actually, to this point, as you're traveling up above everybody, here and there you see the sources of these glows. Typically, you see zombies. There are a few skeletons here and there. And you said 25?
I said 30.
30. Far off. And you can see almost towards the edge of the anchor, and there's a point where it kind of gets to the edge of the bluff that descends into the canyons below and drops where lower anchor would be. You see a huge figure. Larger than a bear, although it walks in a similar way. And you see it just kind of descend over the edge of the bluff. It seems to swing in one large arm and then drop out of sight. You see red and bone-like structures protruding. Gone. Not necessarily threatening to you, but you would see them.
Okay.
And then you hear, I swear it was just glowing. So off of the streets.
Yeah.
And kind of hearing the bits and pieces of their conversation would put myself in a place where I could watch them from
Okay.
as high as I can get.
So with the 30 as well, looking around, you can see the street that they're walking down. There are these like warehouses, and maybe 3 blocks away, as they walk towards it, there's an area where it transitions into more like factory buildings. There is what looks like a large, maybe a distillery or something. It doesn't have any like brewery kind of things that you've been in breweries now at this point several times. It seems like maybe more of like a chemical based thing. Across the street from that, you see a bright shop of like blues and yellows, although at this distance, kind of hard to read the signs. Next to that seems to be more of like another industrial building attached. And then on, you can see these large kind of buildings forming this very bleak, almost like almost a canyon in and of itself. That is what you see. For the rest of you, as you go door to door, go ahead and make perception checks.
Well, I'd be looking for like
of
markings and
us?
like
Make an
forced
investigation
entry
check.
and like any like residual signs.
Make an investigation
someone
check if you're
squatting.
getting
Yeah.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I think I
have
would
you guys do that, and then you can just tell me if you want me to open the doors, because I'm
Yeah, I
not.
think I would
This isn't
probably
my
No, yeah.
strong suit,
more
That's
for
fair.
so
like signs of entry than
Yeah.
Okay,
just,
make an
like,
investigation check.
Alright.
walking.
Got a 17.
Great.
I got. I think it's 19.
I'm just following with my thieves' tools out.
Yeah,
Like
19.
this one.
Yeah.
The little leather roll is like soaking wet now, rain running down. But yeah,
19.
19. So 17 and 19, not bad. As you walk by, this is an area that's pretty well trafficked. There's not like these areas that are, well worn over and you have to clear dust away or to clear debris.
No, yeah.
This is an area that during the day probably sees a good amount of traffic. You continue to walk, and as you get closer, kind of checking doors, nothing broken into. You could find areas where just through the general strain of working with like every day in these places, there are doorways that are kind of worn down in places where you could probably like break into some of these buildings pretty easily. Morwen, as you watch, there are places where you could just pop right in, no problem.
And in fact, you probably would.
Might.
As you get a little bit closer, you guys are on opposite sides of the street.
So Nazara's on the opposite side from me. I don't know which one.
If you guys
Yeah,
are
I'd
walking
probably-
down the street, she's on the right side.
Yeah,
I
I'd be
would
on
probably
the
go on the left, slightly
Okay.
behind Heinrich
Okay.
to see if I catch anything that he missed.
Fair enough.
Sure, with that roll, that makes sense.
So you rolled a 17 though.
Yeah.
And so with the 17, there is a point where you get kind of a block in, you cross over the street. You haven't seen anything suspicious yet, and with the rain, you're starting to get discouraged. Any kind of like tracks are gone, things are
Right.
getting washed away.
Right.
And then kind of off on the side of the street, there aren't really bushes, but in what is basically weeds that have grown up and died and then grown up again and died to the point where there's almost like here and there, like stacks of thin, dead, like the wooden bases of weeds and plants that have just kind of dried over time.
Mm-hmm.
You see scraps of fabric, blue and yellow.
Mm-hmm.
And going over, it is like torn bits of some kind of a uniform, although soaking wet. There is a little bit of blood in them. That is what you would find. With the 19, you find 1 copper piece as well.
All right. And
Find
sorry,
a
this was
copper,
near.
pick it up.
This was near some sort of
All day long, you have
door
good
wall
luck.
window thing.
So walking and kind of looking up around the area, you
Yeah.
can see now you are right on the edge where it transitions from warehouses and then across the street.
Uh-huh.
It seems to be factories on the left. And actually, of note, because you had just spoken about it,
Yeah.
there is a storefront attached to a large industrial building that is called, give me 1 second here, Sunset Suites. Sunset Suite Factory is the large industrial building located next to it.
Uh-huh.
Across the street, there is something called Ace Reagents, which is like another large kind of
Oh,
cleaning stuff and elements of that nature.
Point at the sweets and be like, Morwen, I think this is the one.
Yeah. Cool.
You have
What?
something you want to say?
oh no, I was just laughing. Ace Reagents,
Oh.
Goose Stain.
Yeah, there you go. Very nice.
It's all
Glad you picked up on that.
Don't worry, I'm still gonna find a cobbler.
Mazarin nods. That would account for the candy in his bag.
Right. You were saying it's rare. Someone like him.
Just for the last week.
Oh. Maybe it's all because of him. Bastard. Anyways, no.
Townsend took it all.
Yeah, and ate it all, and then
There
killed
was-
someone over it. See, look. And I point out the uniform and everything else.
Well, a few months ago, before we actually got in here in any kind of strength, there was a festival, and I know that this company did produce a lot of the candy for it.
Huh.
Perhaps just on hiatus afterwards.
Gotcha. Well,
Is
he still had it. Didn't seem to work there. Maybe works there too. Who knows? But
Could be.
this is a lead.
Is the torn uniform at all distinguishable as something?
Is anybody picking it up?
I mean,
I'll-
you pointed
you
it
guys
out
aren't
now,
going to.
right?
Yeah, I pointed it out, but I was just thinking
It
like
just
this
looks
might
like
be the
tattered
building.
clothes.
So Morwen goes over to this bramble and pulls out this kind of wet uniform, half blue, half yellow, bright colors, although kind of muddy. But you can see there is the Sunset Suites logo on the kind of breast area of it. Uniform for this place, like very bright colors.
Okay.
All right. I mean,
Is this factory owned by someone named Billy Bonka?
Are you asking Mazarla?
No.
I'm checking out the door.
It's actually
Is it unlocked?
Billy
You
Gonka.
go across
that's
the
it.
street and try the lock. You're touching the door's double doorway. It's locked.
Oh,
Let's
boo.
fix that.
All right. You head up to this thing and you
Is this the
begin to
main
pick it up.
door, like the front?
Yeah,
the
apparently,
front
yeah.
obvious door that we can all be. Okay.
Seems like it.
Just-
Unless,
Wait, you wanna
unless
go
you guys
try to
want to
find
try
a
to find it.
back
I was
back
gonna
door.
like go around and be like, yeah, let's try to find maybe a less obvious entrance. Should someone else like that
For someone
Navy
who's
guard?
so stealthy, you're not very discreet.
Yeah, but you won't find me after I open the door, so it doesn't really matter.
And we're just standing out front in the
Could just
rain
be the
having a nice
wind.
evening. All right, let's look for another entrance off the main street.
Zara nods and begins to go around one direction. Is anybody else looking for a side door? Or what are you guys looking for?
I'm
I'm
just
looking
gonna
for
follow Heinrich.
Any
Okay.
doors or honestly windows because Morwen
Yeah,
can
I'm
climb.
looking for windows that might be open that I could fly up to, stuff like that.
Okay, make a perception check. Heinrich, because you guys are already on the ground, you guys have already rolled. Give me just 1 second here.
Oh my god, I'm getting terrible rolls tonight.
Yeah, you're getting gonked.
Yeah. Gilly
Gonk,
gong.
I like
Gilly
that.
gonked.
What was your roll?
Bad. Let me just see how bad. That's an 8.
So this building, it's 2 stories. You can see there are windows, so they're not glass. There are these kind of like sectioned metal shutters that can be opened from the inside. They are currently shut. You don't find any that are open. And looking up at the storm, probably shut for a reason.
All right. I would probably then fly up and see and like go up onto the roof and see if there's a roof access
Okay.
somehow.
So you
Some
watch
air
as-
ducts to crawl.
Yeah.
in the darkness, as you guys look around, suddenly there's a crackle of lightning, and you see in the light Akka just flying up into the midst of a storm.
Yeah. Wearing metal.
Yeah,
That'll be fine.
yeah.
It's only a D100.
Akka, roll D100 for me.
I have absorb element.
Oh yeah, just redirect it.
Yeah.
Lightning
Fucking
thunder.
Uncle
Yeah.
Iroh, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Got my damage dice ready.
Like to see it.
49.
49. So you see lightning maybe 100 feet off in the distance hit the top of a building and crackle down into the ground. Akka, you feel like probably you don't want to stay up here too long, especially not flying covered in metal in the middle of the air. But
I'll be fine.
looking over at the top of this warehouse, you can see there are these same kind of metal shutters, the top 2 large sections of them, but they are shut.
Okay. I'm gonna, having not found anything up top, I'm gonna go back to the ground.
Okay. You can hear water. So, like, the water that's falling through these is probably being collected and put somewhere else.
Okay.
But you don't see any way to get in.
Okay.
Morwen, back down. As the 2 of you kind of case around, there is a back door.
Perfect.
It is smaller. It is still locked, but a little bit out of sight. The back alley here, it does run connected and abutting 2 other buildings. And so there are windows facing, although dark. And they do seem to be also warehouse-like buildings, so probably not populated, probably.
Seem pretty alone here.
Make a perception check.
Yes. They always call out for those.
Allie, can you do me a favor? I left my coffee over there after you
I
handed it
knew
to me
it.
and reminded me.
I knew it.
It's right on the other side of the
I
curtain.
even
I think.
See it.
13.
Okay, here, I gotta.
13?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Might
Excuse
be
me.
able to just get it without even getting up if you lean.
No,
forward.
no.
It's not worth the risk. So, with the 13,
I thought it was tougher to like.
with the 13, you do look around and you don't see anyone.
If only.
Thank you very much. You can see just rain. You see Akka's feet as they drift over the top of the roof. and
Right.
And go-
That's it.
Come right back.
Okay. I mean, I think we're alone now. Doesn't seem to be anyone.
Yeah, Nazar turns from the other angle. It doesn't seem to be anybody around.
All right, cool.
Make your thieves' tools check.
Yep,
You bend down over the door and begin to work with these tools.
25.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
With a 25, before it's almost as if you just touch it and the door ting, just unlocks itself.
Was it unlocked?
I imagine you yawning
No.
while doing this.
Yeah,
You're like,
it-
kind of tired. Oh, well, all right.
Well, that's convenient.
it's like when you go and you type in a password and the first thing you try is password. This time, like, you did the very first thing and it just happened to work. So,
Very nice.
yeah, you pop the door open. Do you open the door?
Yes.
Okay. You pull it open in the rain, and little bits of water begin to hit what was formerly a dry floor. It's dark within, but you can see looming overhead and kind of over and around you. There are huge bits of like old machinery. You can see large, what look like, I'm forgetting the word now, large versions of vats are what they're
I
called.
was gonna say.
That kind of go up, and across the way you can see actually there's a huge one, all manner of these like metal carts. You're in like a back door area on like a factory floor. There are some side rooms as well, but in the darkness, kind of hard to see too far.
There's no orange gnome-like creatures.
Make a perception check.
18.
Nope.
Cool.
You see not
Nary a doompa doompa.
no orange
A Goomba
rooms. There are
A
no.
gloompa.
What are they called? They're not called Wonkas. They're not called Womp Rats. Oompa Loompas. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
But
Goompa
Yeah.
Gloompas.
So from where you currently are, Morwen,
Because it's Gilly Gonka.
to your left is these 2 big vats. There are 3 carts like right in front of you, kind of at different angles. There are seats and tables off to your right, and your eyes are drawn to that because you can see this is a station where A very popular candy is made during a certain time of the season, but you see all of these little metal, almost they look like windows, and you would know this is like dawn pain pendants. These kind of candies for the Daybreak Festival. This is where they would be made, and Sunset Sweets very well known for their dawn pain candy.
Well, just gonna.
Okay. You begin to creep in. Make a stealth check if you're trying to stay hidden. What are the rest of you doing as Morwen disappears into this dark
I'm gonna
space?
I mean,
sneak in after.
I feel like as soon as the door was open, I would just go in too.
Okay.
Provided that,
This is
like,
like-
you know, a spike trap didn't swing down or anything. And,
No spike
you know,
trap.
in a candy factory.
Yeah.
It's like
25.
25?
I
Okay.
keep rolling like just 10s or lower. So.
You step into the door and just disappear.
Yeah.
You,
Oh,
I am
yeah,
gonna actually make a point though. Right before I go in, I'm gonna just like shake off as much as I can because I'm not trying to bring in water.
sure, so
Water
water
steps,
everywhere and
you know?
everybody else is around you. Sure, that's a good point.
I got some hair.
Wet cat hair, just the clump. It's like.
Yeah.
So, you want to make a stealth check, or are you trying to stay hidden?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
just kind of like slide in right after and be like.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess if we're not supposed to be in here, that seems
I mean,
wise.
breaking and
to
entering
advise
generally like.
Zara as
Well,
well.
Following your.
In my
thing.
experience, when I've broken and entered, I've done it sneakily as
I
much
mean,
as possible.
I've only unlocked and entered.
Shay, what are you doing? You see everybody break and enter into this factory. It is a candy factory. Nobody's told you anything about this, and now you watch them break into a sweets factory.
Not out of character for them.
Fair enough.
You've seen
But-
worse.
Keeping an eye on them and guarding their exit.
Okay. Make a perception check.
Oh, wait,
You
it's
kind
a
of stick up
disadvantage, I
and
forgot.
find a place that you can stay a little bit elevated.
Oh, shit. Too bad it's at disadvantage.
21.
21.
I'll take it. 19.
We'll get back
oh,
to that.
Whatever, the first one was 16.
At the
yeah.
moment, this is a very quiet system of alleys. You don't even see any of these lumbering shadows that you've seen. Very quiet.
Yeah, 14.
Okay.
Or, sorry, 12.
I got a 19 with disadvantage.
Okay, nice.
So, I'll take
So
it.
Akka and
He was there to bear
Nazara,
witness to my 20 that I couldn't use.
yeah, Akka and Nazara very much kind of lumbering through the middle, but for the two of you, very quiet and hugging the areas on the outsides of this. As you enter, what are you guys looking for? What are you doing?
I am taking some candy.
Okay.
I'm looking for. So, if there aren't any nooks where someone could hide out, then I
Oh, there are nooks.
Where
So-
someone could, like,
This is an
stay
18.
technically, like, unnoticed, or if there aren't anything, if it doesn't look like that, I'm also at the same time looking for secret doors under, like, maybe a rug in an office, or you know what I mean, like somewhere that this guy might be hiding out.
So from where you are, the entire length of this is maybe like 120 feet. This is a huge kind of factory room. The ceilings are 18 feet high. The stone floors are made of slate, and you can see the actual building itself is made of travertine blocks. So this almost like limestone that's been smoothed away. So very pale kind of blocks.
Guntir rubbed off on us.
Yeah, something like that. Well, so specifically it's travertine because you had the dwarven character in whatever we had
the-
something set in
the brewery.
Dungannon. Yeah,
Yeah, the
and
brewery
so
was that.
because that was travertine, then other things in the district are made of travertine.
Right.
Anyways,
No, I
neither
get
here
that.
nor there. So,
Here and also there.
yeah, here and there. You can see places that could be hidden. There are these huge vats that seem to have like crusted sugar along the outside. Each one is maybe like 10 feet tall. You could hide several people in there. Immediately in the maybe like 30 by 30 space that you enter into, there are 3 6-foot long, they're like metal mine carts almost, but long. You could hide somebody in one of those. There are 6 or 7 water barrels on the eastern
Hide a
wall.
body in there.
Yeah.
You could hide a body
Yeah.
here.
You could hide bodies in there.
Yeah, not exactly what I was thinking, but
Further out and maybe like 60 feet halfway in where your vision ends, you can see there's a table and some stuff on it, some chairs.
I mean, I'm walking through.
Okay, so you walk through.
I'm also just like tapping some floor stones to hear for hollowness every once in a while
Sure.
too.
You tap these things. You look to your right and you see briefly, suddenly, the only time that you see Morwen suddenly is when she stops and begins to like swipe candy into her bag.
But I'm gonna keep one little shard out and like.
Okay. It's so these are like almost squares of just like sugar
Yeah.
peens that would be assembled
yeah.
into these mosaics. So you're basically just eating colored sugar. Okay, so you do that.
I'm 5.
Yeah. You can add just a whole bunch of candy to your inventory if you want. But you watch Morwen do
Because
this.
Morwen
Okay.
needs sugar.
You go over and kind of like tap at the blocks underneath.
Yeah. No hidey places. Not like hiding currently from our vision, but like
No.
living hiding.
I know what you're talking about. As you do this, you kind of a little bit distracted as Morwen is just now like sugar fiending in.
Yeah.
You tap your toes nearby, and suddenly your foot seems to almost oppress something. I need you to make a dexterity saving throw,
Goodness
please.
gracious.
And Morwen, I need you to make a dexterity saving throw,
Goodness
please.
gracious.
What'd you do?
Well, I figured by doing that, I guess I didn't specifically say
Farts.
looking for traps. Oh, nice.
You go
It's
first.
fucking 20.
16.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
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 Tap
Yeah.
with your foot. You feel something descend or depress slightly.
You know,
You see the machinery mounted on the top, all on this kind of wooden shelf. Suddenly, there's this. You hear the wood like begin to crack. You take a few steps back, and you see Morwen still like shuffling
And just be like,
elements in. And Morwen, as you look up, you see suddenly there's this, and the shelves begin to like fall forward. You dive out of the way, losing a few pieces of candy onto the ground.
oh, that was your
But thanks to
penalty.
Heinrich, as this collapses, dust flying up, you are both fine.
Yeah.
I take out another.
sneaky.
You can see
Take
Nazar
out another
with the
piece from my
crossbow out.
bag, and I'm just like,
No one saw that happen, though. No
You
one
have to,
saw
like,
who triggered it, to
Some
be
of the
fair.
dust off of it, but
Yeah.
you,
it's fine. I
Given
don't
my
care.
stealth check, did anyone notice that that was...
as far
my
as you
fault.
can tell, no.
Yeah, perfect. No one knew that that was me. All right, so that was a obvious trap.
It echoes out.
So what the-
I mean, looking around, make a
Like, is this place just old?
investigation 19 was your previous roll.
Previous one, yeah. No, 17 for
17.
previously. But that was outside. Now we're inside, a different
Make
environment.
an investigation
I would
check.
argue. Yes.
Make an investigation check.
Do I
Take
hear
a-
this?
Yes. So
I'll take
when
the old
this
one.
happens, you can hear even over the rain and the thunder. This.
Definitely paying attention for a minute to see if there's any follow-up sounds.
You begin to listen.
It's only a 10 this time.
Only a 10.
Boo.
You look through
Thought
the
I could do
rubble, and
better
as you
than
pull it
11.
across, it's
Yeah.
with this thing
Thought I could
collapsed.
do
Hard to
better
tell
than
if it was a trap.
Uh-huh.
Looking around, there is a little bit of dust around here, different than some of the other places that you've been through.
Uh-huh.
So maybe not really used a ton.
Okay. I mean, still, that's a good sign in a way of if we're looking for a place that this guy was hiding, that there's traps. I feel like we're on the right path.
You can see
So I'm gonna-
Nazar nod.
Yeah.
I don't
Turn
know.
around.
That
I guess
was a path.
I'll reveal myself. Be like, hi, over here.
Yeah.
You guys okay?
Nazara turns and kind of nods, looks around at all of you.
Besides the big noise that just happened.
Right.
I'm fine. You just owe me a few pieces of candy.
Why me? You shouldn't be taking that in the first place.
Why?
Because they're closed.
Says
So?
the guy who suggested we break in.
Hey, yeah, whatever. High and mighty. All right. We're definitely on the right path, I think.
Nazara nods.
They're
It
closed.
seems so.
Yeah, I
Did you
mean,
say that?
No, I just think that's a funny comment. You can't take it because they're closed.
yeah, I couldn't think of anything else. All right.
If they were open, it's fair game.
Well, yeah, because they had the
Steal
chance to
away.
defend themselves.
I do an 11-hour rest until they open again and take more candy.
The camera sees you standing there, like moving in fast motion, slightly swaying.
So,
Alright.
the echo finally dies down in this volume of space.
Right.
We hear no other noise.
Make a perception check now.
I'm
Yeah,
listening
I'm
for
like-
Did Shay
feet
hear that?
coming
Yeah, I'm
towards
like-
Shay heard
us.
it.
Yeah,
Is
sure.
anyone coming to get us
Make a
now?
perception
Because
check.
like the guards just heard.
Farts. 17.
17. You stop, and in
Not
this
that that's
moment,
bad,
you
but-
hear like your heartbeat
Yeah.
in your ears, but you don't hear any footsteps.
Mine's a 24.
24. Again, you don't hear any footsteps. With a 24, way off into like the southern part, like deep into this kind of warehouse,
Yeah, I'm just like,
you hear like the skittering, like a rodent running off in the distance. Maybe.
all right, I think we're okay.
I think we're still alone now.
I still think there's no one else around. All right. Let's be careful. Watch out. I don't know what that was. But if this place is operating, why would that happen?
I mean,
this
it's
doesn't
not
look that old.
operating.
Yeah, but a place that just produced for a festival not too long ago wouldn't fall into disrepair
This
this
is
quickly.
like an
Agreed.
office space now.
So you were
that
in
we're
like
kind of
like a
in?
factory floor.
Yeah.
Right, but the area where the bookshelf fell.
Bookshelf.
Not
It's
the
a
book-
shelf.
The shelf
Yeah.
fell.
So no, that's above like a long, maybe a 20-foot long stone table that's about 3 feet wide. There were little tiny panes of.
So this is like
sugar
a
that-
workbench
Yes,
area.
workbench, and like the tool thing fell off.
Oh,
in
okay.
front of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, right.
And it's
But yeah,
all-
so Nazar, what like, do you have anything that might help us avoid more danger? I know Thamir.
Thamer, yeah.
Thamir has his.
Yes, more of Thamer's specialty. I'm a bit handier in combat than he is.
Yes, I gathered as much. But okay, well,
Is it just this big, like, is there no other floors? Like, sometimes in factories there'll be,
It
like, a
seemed
second
like there was
level
a
that you can walk
secondary
around.
level, and looking up now, you can see there seems to be maybe halls or rooms up above.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see any staircase within the interior space that you were within. You do see, as you get closer towards the middle, further in, there are off and on what would be the western side in the far corner. It's almost like a small library, but as you get closer, there are jars and different little like cubbies of spices and various things to add flavorings. You can see different workspaces to make and assemble candies and things of that nature. There is a doorway that you see, like a double doorway, on the westernmost wall, and you would imagine that would lead you closer to where the main door is. You can see on the southeastern wall, there is another door that heads out somewhere, and then on the southern wall, there is another door. You'd imagine those all lead out to what is like an external hallway that wraps around the entirety of this kind of factory space. If there was a staircase, it would probably be somewhere out there.
Well, I'm first of all gonna tiptoe over to the room with the spices and take my candy and dip it in the spices and see if they're good.
So you take out these little candy
So I've got
things.
like a sugar chip,
Yeah.
dipping it in all the
Sure.
spices.
you gotta do the
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you go over to this like
Yeah.
spice.
It's
like-
sticky.
Yeah.
It's sticky.
You can see there's like
Fun
one of
dip.
these big kind of minecart things that has a whole bunch of like spices that have been added in. But as you kind of pull through and go to reach something and reach over, you see a flash of bright yellow and blue. And looking down in the cart, there is a corpse. Yeah. In front of the spice, you didn't smell it with all these other flavors and smells in the air. But in this moment, and as you as you pull away, there is zzz, little flies that come off of it.
You will believe what this tabaxi found in her spices. Click here to read
Guys,
the story.
try this candy.
As you lean back over, I imagine like still eating the
Yeah.
candy and looking.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Little-
not super phased. It's
little
gross,
bits
but-
falling
You're
into
like,
the
huh,
corpse.
that's
Seen
kind
dead
of gross.
bodies before.
Yeah.
Clad in yellow
Still
pants
munching on our sucker.
and blue, like a blue shirt. You can see the body of a tiefling. Elegant horns that they start here and then cross over each other and form almost like a frontal crown before they go up.
Interesting.
However, you can see underneath that there are elements where you can see bits of like skull. There are items on this corpse.
Oh,
you can
I'm
actually
about
see
to.
a bag.
Yeah, the second thing is I've got the candy in one hand. I'm like,
Make an investigation check if you want to loot
I
this
love how
corpse.
you're just like so casual.
I'm doing it.
This
Ooh, I'm
image
gonna
is
check
so great.
loose
You're just
first,
looting
this
by
guy's
like
gonna come back to life on me real quick.
So you eat with one hand
Yeah.
you're eating it, you reach out and you go, wait, pull out loose.
Let's think about this.
Still dark.
All right, cool. Then I'm going for it.
All right, make your investigation check. The rest of you watch as Morwen goes over, looks into a cart, and begins to rummage through.
Well, I figured Morgan's
13.
keeping an eye out for anything that's interesting, and she'll
I'm
find it. She'll let
assuming
us
that
know.
she's
So
over.
I'm gonna press further
I'm just
in.
assuming that she's eating more candy.
Yeah. I'm pressing and looking for, well, keeping an eye out for traps. Continuing my initial search for a
I think I
home
would
base for this
probably
cultist
be
guy.
like, I'm gonna go check upstairs, and then I'd float up to the office, or not the office, but like the upstairs.
You see where there would be a
Loft area?
hallway and like rooms jutting out. You don't see windows. There's no way to connect from the interior of the space.
Oh, so it's not like.
You don't see like an overseer's office
Okay,
with a
I
window.
thought it was.
over the
Yeah, I thought
factory
it was
floor.
like
No.
that sort of like.
It's
there's
closed
a-
off, and you'd imagine
Okay.
you haven't seen any administrative spaces. That's probably where they are.
Okay.
Morwen, as you dig through this body, you can add 7 pieces of gold,
Yay!
1 piece of silver,
Sweet.
a small whale carved of cork, and I need you to make a Constitution saving throw, please.
Small whale carved
Cork.
cork.
Yeah.
And then I'm doing
Constitution
one
save.
more time.
Constitution
Okay.
save to make sure you don't throw up from all that candy.
I
How
love
is
that
it-
as a mechanic.
How's a 5?
As a 5?
Yeah.
So you kind of like brush very casually now. You're kind of looting through this corpse. You reach through, you finish 1 piece of candy with the same hand. You like reach in, grab some gold, put it away. You take another piece of candy and eat that.
Ew.
Tastes like
As you
cotton.
finish kind of going through, you don't feel that great. You are considered poisoned.
No.
You touched the rotten body candy.
Yeah, body candy is not the good kind of candy to eat.
Is there? Wait. Can I like? How can I pinpoint how I poisoned myself?
So at the moment,
Like,
you
is it
feel-
really just like a
You
sugar?
can go to a doctor.
It's hard to tell because, yeah, you've eaten a lot of sugar, and so you feel a little nauseous, but your skin beneath your fur is beginning to feel a little itchy. It's kind of subtle at first, and you imagine maybe just too much sugar.
All right. I'm gonna go over to Heinrich, all like kid waking up the parents in the middle of the night, like.
Morwen approaches you through the darkness, eating candy still.
I don't feel too good.
What happened?
Well, I was eating some candy, and
What?
then I walked over to try the spices with my candy, but then there was a dead guy, so I searched his body, and I don't feel good.
I don't know how to.
You see Nazara look at all of you and go,
What?
"You just touched the body."
It could have been
I
poisoned.
touched the pockets. I didn't touch the body, like
Morwen.
the skin.
You.
Did it have anything on it?
Yeah.
Why would there be a body with things still on it if it wasn't trapped in some way? How are you still alive?
I don't know. These might be my final moments, so I
All
don't
right.
feel good.
Make a Constitution saving throw.
I'm going to try to figure out what's wrong with her.
Make a medicine check.
I don't know how I'm gonna do that. Stick out your tongue.
Was
I'm
that
gonna.
That's dirty 20.
dirty 20? Okay.
I kind of want to puke, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
okay.
All right. I'm gonna.
Still feel the same.
I'm gonna pull out. I don't know. Let's see. What's a.
You want me to stick out my tongue?
Yeah. Well.
It's the
I'm gonna
taffy color. I ate the lime, and it's kind of luminescent.
I'm going to take out. Let's see. Let's see. I'll take out one of the Crotego claws because it's like, you know, like
Yeah,
that big,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And I'm gonna cast light on it and use it like one of those pen flashlights.
So you watch
Playing
as
doctor.
Heinrich
She
turns
woke
out
me up. I'm
it
just
is
like,
like a blackened, long, a combination of a talon and like a fingernail.
Yeah.
That's just like
Talon and a
Nice.
nail.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
and something ding, begins to glow with this radiant light, and you
Yeah.
hold it up. Yeah,
I'm just gonna I'm holding it like this, so just the tip. Is,
yeah. It's like an exam light.
So, in all fairness, though, what kind of
Can I medicine
sickness
check
am I
now?
feeling? It's not nausea,
check
right?
now.
It's like cold sweats, or
it's like
what's?
itchiness. Like your skin is very itchy.
All right, might be fleas.
Was it 3?
Feels
Might
like
be fleas.
I mean,
feels
but
like
really,
fleas.
Morwen, I would advise you get rid of all that candy and stop touching things without at least checking them out first.
You just want the candy for yourself.
No, I don't.
I think it's about the body, not the candy.
Yeah, probably, but still.
Zara turns to you, Akka, as you're walking. Oh yeah, you're
going
flying.
upstairs.
But as you begin to kind of fly, she turns and just says, "Don't eat the candy."
Oh shit.
Yeah, exactly. All right, Morwen, stick with me, I guess.
This does
if
seem
it
to
gets-
confirm that there is
Right.
people here.
Exactly. Stick with me. If things get worse, I can at least help a little, but I can't figure out what's wrong with you.
If your hand is out and giving you the rest of the candy.
Okay, I'm just gonna like drop it onto the floor.
What are those?
Just like, oh yeah, and just.
Make a
Well,
slow
if you're
hand
gonna
check.
waste it.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick it up if I
Eating
notice.
it.
Oh well, there's my good roll. 24.
You make that candy disappear.
Just, oh yeah.
You gotta pass it into your other hand. You're like,
All right,
oh,
I'm
so
gonna eat
good.
it all now.
Yeah.
Just down in the background.
All right.
Yeah. So you do that.
Okay, help me. You know, maybe take your mind off of. Maybe you'll feel better. The nausea might pass, or whatever it is that you're feeling.
It's itchy, like fleas.
Oh, well then don't stand too close to me.
No, I don't think it's fleas.
Okay,
well- Zara takes a
It's itchy
couple
like
steps.
Yeah,
fleas.
I'm taking. Okay,
You see Nazara turn and just go.
let's proceed
Are
like
you-
the
are you-
original plan. Was there anything else in the room? Was it just a body that you touched and licked and whatever?
I don't know. I don't really look around,
Okay,
but I got some gold off of him in this
I'm
weird
gonna go
cork.
take a peek in the room with the
Showing you the cork.
flashlight, the pen light.
Showing you the cork.
Oh, that's cute.
Thank you.
Does it mean anything to me?
I mean, it's a cute little
cute looking-
pig. Yeah,
okay.
it looks
Did
like
it
somebody.
make me
Pig.
itchy?
No,
It's
it
a
looks
whale.
like somebody carved. Oh, sorry, a whale.
Yeah.
Looks like somebody carved a nice little whale out
so
of a
that's
piece
very
of cork.
cute. I'm gonna go peek in the room and look for if there's anything more than just a body in there.
So you walk in and peer to the right. Make a perception check.
Okay. Nope. Passive 12 or an actively rolled 6.
Nice. Okay, so you see this corpse. You see
Yeah.
flies now kind of descending, and you
Yeah.
see that it
Skeleton.
was a tiefling. You can see like the horns kind of wrapping around over the forehead. You can see beyond them just shelves and shelves and shelves of different ingredients. You see like dried up bits of grapefruit and lime. You see liquids and all variety of different things.
And I just shake my head, thinking more, and probably tried all of those.
And you do see a few jars that are open.
Wait,
but
did I try them?
No.
Oh,
But
interesting.
you know, there are a number of things that are kind of disturbed there. It looks to be almost like an ingredient like stockpile where people would go and then pull things. And there is tables kind of in the middle of all of these shelves.
Anywhere to is it look disorganized, or does it look like quite simple?
Very
and-
organized.
Okay.
So you can see as you look through, there is almost like a method to this. You can see like
Yeah.
the spicier
Nothing
spices
looks
over here,
messy.
the sweeter things here. Not messy.
Yeah.
And as you look at these things and you look around, you can see there's a station with all these little sticks, and you can actually see a few of these finished like lollipop kind of things.
Yeah.
And you can see that is close to a certain number of spices that seem like they would correlate with that.
Okay.
It is all organized very well.
Okay.
Oh,
But this is not a place where it looks ransacked, upturned, or anything is being hidden.
No, and so to that point,
Yeah.
this body very purposefully left here.
Right.
Nazara. Right, that's her name.
Hmm?
When did the dead bodies start appearing?
6 weeks ago, give or take.
Oh, so this isn't related to the candy. Is the candy turning me into a zombie?
Make a Constitution saving throw. She looks at you and squints. I don't think the candy is turning people into zombies. They're crawling from the ground.
19.
19? Okay.
I'm still itchy.
You are.
Can I mage hand? Is this body slumped over?
A little. It's in one of these long carts,
Oh.
and so it's like kind of bent in a little bit like that.
Okay.
You can see there is still actually like a few pieces of gold that glint within the cart, and you know, Morwen
and-
did do a great job of stealing stuff.
Yeah.
How'd you miss those?
The gold?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, I guess I'll
It's what
mage
it is.
hand
Losing
scoop
your
those up, not
touch.
touching anyone. 3, hooray! But no, all right. So there's nothing out of place in this room. This body was left here on purpose, but it probably came from somewhere else. I can't imagine.
It is wearing the uniform that workers would wear.
Right.
Same as the one that was outside.
Correct.
I don't know this because I'm gone.
Right.
Right.
So to that point,
I'm just
if you're
basically
trying to-
thinking, like, is there any like?
not immediately visible. Nothing, no doors or
Right.
things that you could find like that. Aka, in looking for this office, are you heading out the east, south, or west door?
So we came in from the south.
You came in from the north.
Or from the
'cause you
north
came into
door.
the back. You were
Okay.
originally gonna. Yeah.
I guess orienting myself from where we went.
The
in.
western door will lead you closest to where the entryway is that you originally were going to try to go to, the main entry. The south, you have no idea. The east is the opposite of that. So if there was like a further in, that would likely be where it was.
So coming north, I would probably go east first, then south, then west, and then I would peek through the thresholds and
Okay.
see, and then make a decision after I've inspected all
You
three of
poke
them.
through the eastern door. You can see down the left, maybe like 50 feet. It goes inward. You can't see much, although you do see a staircase going down.
Okay.
You pull your head back in, go over to the southern
I
one.
think like basement, probably storerooms or something.
You open up far hallway to the left, far hallway to the right. They wrap around. This seems to go the entire southern wall of this building, and then wraps around, so it surrounds the factory.
Okay, so it's like an exterior corridor
Yeah.
around the whole main.
You shut that, and you pass by where Heinrich on your left is now kind of just like mage handing some stuff out of this wheelbarrow, essentially. You pass that, and you poke your head out the western one. And as you do, immediately on your right, you look and you can see there is like a reception area, like a big, like L-shaped desk. You can see a chair. There's like a little quill on there, and you can see the main doorway opposite of that, like the exterior to where you had initially attempted to enter.
Okay.
What is your passive perception?
It's either 17 or 18.
Okay, either way is high enough.
It's
You look,
17.
you look down on the ground and you can see a dark discoloration on the slate there. Dull brown discolorations, and as you watch and kind of track it along the ground, it leads to like a wooden door behind the reception desk.
Brown like mud or brown like dried blood?
Like dried blood.
Okay. I would carefully and discreetly like follow the path to
Okay.
that door.
So the door behind you, and you leave them in the main factory floor. You go up to this door. You can see now there is a good amount of blood dried around it.
I'm like mentally preparing myself for something gross behind the door, making sure that it's not gonna be, checking that it's not like the door itself that is bleeding, like some sort of mimic door.
Make an investigation check.
That's a 19.
You get really close to the door, and it's made out of wood. It's not bleeding. But there is blood around the edges of it. You can see kind of, and you do see there is some on the knob kind of dried.
Okay. So something probably trying to hide or run away from something that had been injured. All right, I'm gonna not touching the crusty blood door. Mage hand it open.
Okay. The invisible hand wraps around it, and you can hear it just kind of and it echoes into the space beyond. It is dark, but you see streaks of the dried blood that lead about 30 feet to the other end of the room, where a vault door is shut. On the left-hand side of this room, you can see there is like a desk and some boxes. On the right-hand side, you see another L-shaped desk, a chair. There is a sword kind of cast to the side in the edge of that room. There's a few what look like almost like bookcases, although they just have like various like classes and things like that. It looks almost like a lost and found.
This is strange for a candy factory, to say
Yeah.
the least. No source of the blood, but does it look like the blood goes through to the other side into the vault door?
Walking in, yes. So you can see the streaks kind of disappear underneath the side. There is a large, what looks like at one point, pool of blood that is now dried. You can see just on the side of the desk on the right side when you walk in.
Hey guys! I'm gonna like go back to the door and be like, hey guys!
You hear just
Pretty
this
far
thin
away.
voice. So if he goes back to the door and opens it up, he is probably about 75 feet away from you.
Okay.
Maybe 50 feet away from Morwen, depending on where Morwen's wandered off to.
Uh-huh.
I think I found something bad.
Aga, I'm itchy.
Make a Constitution save.
I'm so itchy.
I don't know how to help you with that,
It's 15.
15.
but there's a lot of blood. More than you would want in a candy factory.
All right, I'm gonna come look at it.
Morwen, you don't feel great. However, as you're walking, the itching seems to stop. you just feel a little nauseous and are poisoned for the next 50 minutes. But
Oh.
whatever really bad thing was going to happen seems to have kind of pulled back for now.
You have
Okay.
avoided diarrhea.
What if, or if I was like
Itchy
itchy, I was
diarrhea.
thinking like what if all my hair fell off or something, and I'm like now with like
You're
the
a Sphinx
cat,
cat. Ew.
like ew.
Somewhere going to be like,
Imagine
you get what you
like
deserve.
a shaved Morwen. You know what's funny? I was also thinking about that too. If that happened, I have beard juice. And if that would have helped, or if I would have just
With
Morwen
a
with
sphinx
a beard.
with a beard, you'd be nude with a beard. I'm a lady.
Nazara makes
I'm a
her way
handsome
across
woman.
this darkened.
I'm gonna like
I'm
seeing that
heading
they're
over
coming
the shore.
towards me. I'm
There's
gonna go
nothing in
back
this room
and
that
start
seems
heading
obvious.
towards the vault,
Okay.
carefully, because like that's a lot of blood.
The three of you head towards the vault. Are you
Yeah.
doing that as well?
Yeah, but I'll say that my nausea is probably not affected at all by the blood and gore, but very much any candy.
Okay,
There's like a
sure.
puddle of blood and guts, but like a taffy. I'm gonna be like,
No more candy.
Luckily, there is
Okay,
no
maybe
candy
one
within
more.
this space. But
Good, good.
Shay, at this point, it's been about 20 minutes. Are you doing anything?
I'm gonna give them another 15,
Okay.
as long as I don't hear anything
Okay.
catastrophic from inside or see anything major.
Not
hear
yet.
me complaining I'm itchy?
Not yet.
Not yet. Even Shay's here cannot hear the the storm.
I'm itchy.
But
Yeah.
still watching, making sure nothing's
Sure.
approaching.
No problem. You all follow Akka, you leading this group, kind of emerge back into this office space. The vault looms before you.
Alright, I guess I'll open it.
What? Is there anything else that seems off about this
I'm
room?
gonna.
There's blood everywhere.
Okay. Yeah.
Make an investigation check.
I'm just like
I'd also
casing it.
like
Does
to
it look
check
like
how
there was a
fresh it
fight
is.
here, or is it just like a retreat? Or
Make
is
an
it-
insight check.
Yeah.
I'm gonna.
I want to check to see how fresh it is.
Oh
Make a medicine check.
I'm gonna mage hand. Check if the vault door is open, and then if it is, open
It's
it.
certainly closed.
Not bad.
As you try to turn this thing, it kind of you can tell that it's locked. It doesn't turn in the way that you would imagine it needs to. What was it?
18 for me.
18. Okay.
And I got a dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So, starting with you, Heinrich, with the dirty 20, you look at this space, you can see areas where blood has moved around. Based on what you see and just sort of what you could imagine, on the right-hand side, that desk seems to be almost like it would be like a security station. You see this vault. Makes sense that somebody would be guarding it. You see a cast-off sword. You see the pool of blood. If there was a guard, it seems as if they'd probably been murdered.
Yeah.
But there are other streaks of blood that lead in from outside of this room. And so you'd imagine other entities probably brought in as well. And as you look at this and you realize you haven't seen bodies except for the one intentionally left,
Right.
there haven't been employees. You think about the fact that Nazara said it's been a while since this candy has been available.
Right.
It's starting to seem like maybe you know where the rest of this workforce is.
Yeah. All dead behind this door. Or maybe not all dead. Maybe undead. Or maybe a mix. And I'm going to relay that thought to everyone and say, yeah, I mean, certainly going to be something on the other side of the door. Definitely be prepared. Might be undead.
I hope
Is
it's
loose.
not more candy.
Check loose.
Dark.
Okay. Maybe just dead.
Oh wait, is the blood fresh?
No.
Oh, you said no.
What was your
18.
So with an 18, you get down really close and you smell this blood. Doesn't make you
That one
nauseous. If
doesn't
anything, it's
phase me.
kind of comforting.
Oh.
Thank goodness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Familiar smell.
Oh, to
Yeah, it is
death.
familiar. It's maybe like a week old. There's nothing about it that is still tacky or dry. It crumbles underneath your talon. If you scrape your nail across it, it just comes away. So probably about a week old.
May I switch this to the vault to see if it smells like a bunch of rotting corpses?
Go over to the vault and
Smells like
there's
a
an
vault door.
unpleasant smell seeping out from underneath. Very faint because it is a vault.
Yeah.
But as you are now looking for it, yes.
There's bodies in there. I can smell it.
Great. This might be a stockpile of whatever they're attempting to do with the bodies. I don't know. I am so apprehensive of this, but if you want to open it,
Oh, we need some. Is there like a lock, a key?
Yeah, there's a lock. Lock
Wait,
mechanism on the
wait,
front.
wait.
But it's like.
Why
is
do
it
we
like
have to
a
open
key
this?
kind of
Yeah.
lock or okay?
maybe we don't. Maybe we
I
just
guess
go
I'm
get the
gonna be like,
authorities and come back.
Well,
Uh,
we should maybe look for for a key?
I don't know if we should involve the authorities.
How many times do you... There are no authorities.
There's people who might know more of what's been going on here, given there's makeshift guards or
Would
whatever.
there be anyone else to, like, report this to?
The Navy,
Besides, like, yeah, like the Navy.
Riders of Galvin, if there's anybody around, but they're spread
Right.
thin.
Alright.
Like,
Also,
the
how do we
Navy, but
justify
the
it
Navy
wasn't
isn't going to do
us?
something on, like...
Because it's old.
This isn't really the Navy.
But we like broke in here and stuff. Why are we here in the first place if you go to the authorities?
Because there was a
We look
cultist that we
guilty.
I'm gonna
captured.
start
No,
looking
we're
for-
working
Enter
with
with me.
Uriel's
Okay.
watch.
And, like, if it's
Who
not in
is
this room,
recognized
I'm going
by
to
the
use it as
city
an
as
excuse to
helping.
leave this room.
Make
But
an
you're also with
investigation
me, who is
and,
not
like, go
recognized
check out the
as
rest of
helping
the
the
areas
Navy.
that I had seen passing through.
Make an investigation check.
You can just disappear.
That is a 15.
15. You begin to look. You kind of open up some of these boxes, and the crates at least seem empty. You look under the table. You don't see any keys. Nothing in this room.
I'm going to pop out and be like, I'll be right back. I'm going to look for a key. While they're still talking
Okay.
or
Okay.
bickering, I guess.
Alright.
And then I'm going to check out the other rooms that I had passed by.
Nazara, would it be of any benefit to somehow raise attention to this instead of just...
Yes, I think the fact that there is a factory full of murdered people is something that we
Exactly.
should pass on. Right now, is it pressing? No.
Okay, we'll pass it on after then we figure out what's going on behind here.
This is clearly where we're supposed to be in terms of
Right.
finding this cult. So
Right.
let's find them.
Hey Nazar, my daughter mentioning me when you talk to the guards.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
We'll circle back to that later, though. Akka, you make your way back into this main corridor. You go down the southern hall. You walk the entire length of the building. And as you turn, you again see that there is a staircase going down.
But this is not the same one from the east side.
It is. This is the eastern staircase. So
Okay.
as you go along the other way and then go up, you can see again that staircase.
Oh, okay.
It's
So
kind
the
of the
one that
only-
goes out and around.
Yeah, so
Brings
there's an
back to
exterior
the-
corridor that goes all the way around the warehouse.
Uh-huh.
The only place that you guys have not been is the eastern length. And you've seen it. There's the staircase going
Right.
down on there.
Okay. I guess I would make my way carefully down at that point.
Okay.
So there's no entrance to the second floor?
Now that you found yet.
Not that. Okay. Huh. Okay, maybe it's behind the vault. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna slowly and carefully make my way down the stairs.
Okay.
Kind of freaked out by the dead bodies and the blood. Kind of
That's
like.
fair.
All right. Got my guard up a little.
You
now.
begin-
Yeah,
to
that's the
descend the
normal
stairs.
reaction. Mine is not.
Yeah.
And as you do, you turn
we
to
have
the
some
right
more
hand
candy.
side.
Dead body?
There's blood.
You
Let me
turn to the
smell.
right hand side. You can see there is a metal, like a sign that's been posted up in Common and Elvish. You can see it reads, Sub-Basement 1.
Okay.
As
So
you
there are
enter
more
into it.
than- Okay. Still no key anywhere.
No, but you descend about 15 feet of stairs and it comes up into the same kind of stone floors. It's a little cooler down here and you smell intensely the smell of sugar. You would imagine in some place down here it is stored. But we'll get back to that in a second. You kind of see like a long hallway stretching out in front of you. The rest of you, what are you all doing?
I'm waiting, I guess.
Yeah, I think I am too. I don't really know much of a point of opening this vault, to be honest.
Okay.
And I also don't know what else to do, and I'm scared to see any more sugar.
Shay, at this point it's been about 15 minutes.
No sign of them emerging or being in trouble or anything.
Not yet.
How high up am I?
Up on the top of this structure, probably about 26, 27 feet up.
Okay. Any obvious points of entry from where I am, or would I have to go down?
There are these metal slats that have shut, and you can see water running through them. There's probably a mechanism to open them beneath. You could try to force them open. Otherwise, there's the entryways on the ground floor.
It's too much effort. I'm just gonna go walk and drop off the edge and
Okay.
make my way in.
Go to the edge and just step off. You land. The water around you kind of dispersing, and as it closes, you're already gone. And almost walking through the rain, you surprisingly dry appear within the doorway. right in time to see Akka just kind of disappear around the corner.
Covered in oil.
What?
Covered in oil.
Covered in oil? Yeah.
No, the rain.
Do I see where he's coming from or just where he's going?
You can intuit that he's either coming from these double doorways almost directly in front of you or around the corner. There's no other place to come from.
I kind of want to watch and see where he goes, but not like follow him. Once I lose sight, go where he came from.
Okay. You see him disappear. You wait a second and then walk to the end and see just the top of the golden crown kind of disappear as it goes down the stairs. You see, like, hesitantly going down the stairs. You, too, see the metal sign that says Sub-Basement 1.
Okay. I'll make my way in
Okay.
in the direction he came from.
Okay, so you head back, and as you all wait, suddenly, instead of Akka, Shay emerges into the space.
Oh. Well, there you are.
Shame. Oh, I feel good.
Morwen ate some candy and touched a dead body. In
Speaking-
no particular order.
Speaking of which, I have this taffy for you.
It's like a pale pink piece of taffy that's kind of like coming out of the wrapping.
Thanks,
Text-
Morwen.
Tucks it into the garb.
It wasn't that one that made me sick. It was all the sugar panes, panels,
Taking so long.
sugar chips.
I point at the vault door. Seems like we've found the source or the origin of this cultist and where he was. I mean, I point at the blood and I point at the door. I hope that you can kind of pick up. There's other bodies in here. This place hasn't been operable for quite some time. It used to be very popular, I hear, so this is kind of an odd turn of events. And I think Akka was headed downstairs somewhere.
Zara
Or no,
looks
not
around.
downstairs, somewhere to find a key.
Where is he?
I don't know.
I saw him heading downstairs on my way in.
Well, I don't think this door is going anywhere. And if he's heading downstairs, that's a little too far for comfort. So maybe we should follow him?
Sure. But why? Nah.
Okay.
Well, I'm thinking,
Okay.
I don't get why these bodies aren't coming to life.
Right.
Make a general intelligence check if that's what you're thinking.
They could be doing something else with them.
Well, bodies don't come back to life.
Mm, 8.
You know what? Maybe they're just like they're not outside, and so they're not coming back. Maybe it's the rain
Not
that's
getting
turning.
enough sunlight.
Yeah, not enough vitamin D. Calcium deficiency. You can't raise the dead without strong bones.
Yeah.
So
I accept that.
yeah, hard to tell.
Do we know that the cultists did this?
Not necessarily, but this candy, I already ate mine, but I saw that one. That candy, we all got some.
Zara pulls out a couple pieces.
Oh yeah, came from the cultists who came from this area, roughly this factory. We're kind of putting it all together slowly.
There's been a lot of things that have happened that would imply that we're not supposed to be here.
Right,
Yeah,
traps
like
and
it
whatnot.
Being closed.
Yes.
And a candy factory being trapped seems a little obvious that someone's trying to keep them out, or us out, or anyone out, really.
Slughorn.
The Oompa Loompas come out of a chair. There's like a bunch piled on top.
Oh
that
god, a
look like
flesh golem
chair.
made out of Oompa.
One shot idea.
I mean, we have. Was it Gilly Glonka? What was
You
it?
said
Gilly
Billy
Gonka.
Bonka.
I said Billy Bonka.
So would it
Gilly
be
Gonka. Yeah.
Oompa Loompas?
Chumbawambas.
Chumbawambas. Chili
Yeah.
Chonka. All right. Okay. No more.
Oh boy. Okay.
What a
So-
journey that was.
We're
Anywho.
writing this one for you. All right. I think we should go follow Akka.
Agreed.
I'm gonna
Sure.
just head right
Okay.
that direction,
Everybody follows Akka.
or at
You
least
are
the
there.
general direction I think you went. Which way was it, Shay? And I'll just point to like the two other doors.
I'll point him in the right direction.
Okay. You all head in that direction. Akka, you ahead of the group. You emerge into this hallway. You can see ahead of you there is a room maybe like 20 feet long. You don't see the walls outside, so hard to tell how wide it is.
Because we're downstairs now, right?
You guys are still heading
Oh,
there. So
right.
Aka's a
This
little ahead.
cinematically, we're
Yes.
underground.
Aka, looking ahead, you can see scattered all across the ground candy.
Oh, okay.
You'd actually seen some previously. These are what Tenson had on them. These are spice drops. You see scattered across the ground, all manner of colors and the kind of sugar almost melting as if they've been here for a little time and kind of like slowly
They're
the
like
humidity.
strewn about, not like stacked gracefully.
No, so this is like I would say a couple dozen of these little spice drops that are scattered across the ground. You can see on the other end of the hallway there is a doorway, like an arched doorway, like a standard sized door leads to a hallway that then curves around. In this space, there are at first you feel like almost like caved in sections, but as your eyes adjust, it's congealed clumps of sugar that over time have just kind of like been left, and you can see areas where like actual full candies like form out of it.
It's like candy stalactites.
Yes, very much like that. And looking up, you actually see little bits where there are kind of like candy like
Candy
stalactites.
caverns.
Sort of. And as you look now, you can see areas in the hallway that do come out, and just it seems as if candy has been discarded here over time and just kind of has grown organically into the structure. It's pretty gross. And as you like think that and look around, I mean, you see there are things moving. Like there's bugs in here. A lot of sugar content.
I'm gonna like hover over so that I don't have bugs crawling on me and stuff.
Lift up and move through. Here and there in the darkness, flies. A lot of sugar and sparkly as you go through. You see like little, like
Oddly
hard
beautiful.
candies, like of all different colors, almost like gems in areas where they're still not that melted.
I'm just hearing like Big Rock Candy Mountain playing in my head over and over on loop.
Not a sponsor.
No,
Mark?
what? No, it's a song,
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
I think
There's
it's public
nothing
domain
else.
probably at this point.
There's nothing else in this room of note besides like it's basically hallway with a bunch of like rock candy cavernous goop balls and stuff.
So you see the arched doorway goes about 5 feet, and the hallway goes around. The candy has grown down, and it does make it so it narrows the doorway. And you'd imagine the passages beyond probably even more so. But nothing else. Just the spice drops on the ground, the grown-in candy formations. And that's pretty much it.
I'm gonna make my way through that doorway.
Okay.
Try not to get sticky.
Make your way through that doorway, floating, right? So just
Yeah.
flying across, trying not to touch
Yeah,
anything,
just
kind of
wanna, like-
holding the cloak up a little bit
I
to
don't
keep
want
from
to get
getting
like
stuck.
sticky everywhere. It's bugs and sticky old candy.
What is your passive perception?
17.
Okay. You get to this kind of corner, and as you begin to kind of like try to figure out a way to Tetris yourself through without touching anything,
Kind of like chip away at it, maybe.
you hear this kind of sound, like a little gear kind of shifting and moving. Then you hear this
Where's
something
that
just kind of
coming
shifting around the corner.
from? Okay. I'm gonna get ready and be on guard in case something comes out,
Okay.
or if a trap has just been.
And suddenly you hear footsteps echoing through the halls and turning to all of your compatriots.
Like,
The rest of you emerge slowly, and Morwen, horrific for you. It is a cavern of glowing, shimmering bits of sugar and candy. As you step in, suddenly the ambient heat from all of you turning, little bits of candy just drips down and falls into your
Puke.
fur, into the sugar. You see flies zzz, up around, disturbed. Zara pulls away from this and looks at this. This is foul.
Yeah.
tell me about it.
Oh,
And so as Akka goes, tell me about it, and then starts pointing, Akka, as you make that noise, suddenly you hear, and you hear from behind, like several other sources of that noise. And then you hear this kind of footstep. And you hear whirring machinery as this thing draws closer. But because it is about to be 10:30, this is where we're going to take our break for the evening.
gross.
Yeah, really gross. So, also, actually, just because...
Candy golems. We have to eat them to beat them.
But it's Spooktober, not
This is like a
December.
cursed version of Candyland.
Yeah.
Yes.
Kid's worst nightmare. The best part of Halloween becomes the
We gotta fix elements of this as we come.
Ah,
Cavity core.
cavity core. It's
Yeah.
my favorite kind of music.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
this thing should
Oh,
have.
jeez. We'll set that up
We'll
without.
set this up to be a little bit better.
Mm,
but let me cut this to the.
I'm gonna go ahead and guess this is
This
not.
is-
shift that up.
I'm gonna
forbidden.
guess this isn't set up right since we didn't have
Oh,
this
you can
on
look.
there.
You can see. I put it just to the close up for us all here to see.
So we're like,
Angle it up. Yeah.
shoot the
So if
dude.
you want to place yourself, no, you're in the far door that's
Oh, I'm
going in. You can
here.
see that kind of
This is the
candy
entrance?
stalactite there. That's the entrance. Yeah.
Yeah. And we're just behind.
So turn
this.
yourself the other direction.
That way.
Yeah.
Oh,
there
okay,
you
I
go.
see-
So the
I see
stairs are
what's- And we're
behind you
coming.
now.
Okay,
yeah.
so
we're coming
this,
from
I
here.
thought this
Everybody
was
else
the
is
main entry room where
No,
all
no,
of the,
no, no.
because this rock
Hey, where's
with all the little
Nazara?
sparkly candles.
I'll have to
We'll
grab
get into
Nazara
that
out.
later.
So, thank you guys for hanging out and sticking with us so far. This has been session 89 of Adventures in Alberon, where we enter the candy caverns of the Sunset Sweets factory.
Gonka's lair.
Oh God, I don't know how I didn't think of Willy
It's
Wonka
totally,
for all of this.
Totally fine.
But we are going to see what comes around the corner when we come back. It is 10:24. We'll be back right around 10:35. We'll see you then.
Bye.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back to our 5th edition. That was a good one. That was a big one. Ooh. Our 5th edition D&D campaign. Thank you for sticking with us through the break. For those of you who did so, for those of you joining us, thank you for doing so as well. Oh boy.
Palette cleanse here.
All right.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was tough.
Chaser sticks.
That was tough.
Huh?
Okay, so.
Not a good mix.
Even with them.
Yeah.
There we go.
Oh boy.
And it's gone.
It is.
I
gone.
didn't hold back with you two.
No, that was a lot. That was like a big.
Well, myself, too,
that was a
'cause-
We're
thing.
big boys.
So, we'll jump right back into to a recap, and we'll jump into this game. Whew.
I'm still going, just so you
Nazara?
all know. Like, I mean,
Nazara.
Oh.
Zara's a
like,
D6 if you don't have anything
No, I can
for
get
her.
a Nazara. Hang on. I don't have her painted.
I have
so I'm not going
some
to use
ways
her
to
actual
go.
version, but what I will use.
It's
We got one upcoming mini.
9 Zara.
Because during the move, I lost the actual bones one I was going to use for her. So, you know what?
chicken.
9 Zara it is.
Use the chicken.
Use the chicken.
Oh, yeah, we
Is
got
there a chicken? Oh, yeah,
Yeah, we got the chicken.
Okay, Nazara will be the
She's
rubber chicken.
anything but you know.
Nug Zara. Chicken Nug Zara.
For the first part of this campaign, this session, oh god, that hit me hard. This session, you all tracked, following the little bits of candy and the elements that Nazar remembered from capturing Tenson, this member of the Midnight Assembly. You tracked to a sweets factory, the Sunset Sweets. You entered after sitting out in the storm for a little bit and making sure nobody was watching. Made your way onto a factory floor, and Morwen, you began to guzzle everything in sight, eating every element of sugar that you could find.
Not exactly, but I was licking all the candy glass.
Okay. That's way better. But you
Different act.
licking much of the candy, the rest of you investigating and trying to find clues, you stumbled across traps indicating that somebody was attempting to keep you away. This seemed to fall in line with what Nazar had said about the candy not being available from this company for some time. In your investigations, Aka, you found traces of blood following them. They led you to a vault door. The significant amount of blood kind of spilled out around it. While everybody else waited, kind of trying to figure out what to do with it, you then made your way downstairs and found yourself in this space kind of covered in candy that had amalgamated into almost a solid wall. Stalactites of dripping sugar and hard candies fused together, flies kind of filling the space. The rest of your group followed you, but you leading the group, actually, you would put yourself, at the other doorway right there. And here, I'll pull us into a close-up here so everybody can see where you are. Look at that. That's so nice. You find yourself in this doorway, and you can see... I'll pull this away right now.
Like,
Within the door, there is this kind of...
scooching through.
Yeah, there's this area where the sugar has grown down and kind of flowed through and across, and it touches the ground, rises up and crumbles against the walls and up to the ceiling in places. It glitters with these hard candies, but you hear machinery scrape and grind. And as you look around the corner, give me just one second, let me pull out my minis here.
Peek my head through.
Well, first of all, I'm going to need everybody to roll initiative. So go ahead and
shit.
do that now. I'll cut over to some more appropriate music.
There it is.
Went from a 1 to a 20.
Oh, man.
I
Oh,
went
man.
from a 1 to a 16.
Having advantage on initiative.
Aka, what you see moving around, these skeletons that are partially bone but partially elements of metal that spin and whir, these clockwork undead. However, also, they are covered in sticky elements of candy.
Clockwork candy.
And you can see on some of them it has actually grown across to points where it forms almost like layers of armor.
Uh-oh.
Let's see if I can get this.
They're pretty close, huh?
Yeah, they're right on the other side. They kind of walk along the interior wall.
Oh, jeez.
All right, give me just 1 second here.
All right. Well, this is a good time for an natural.
Where did my initiative try to go? Guess I'll make a new one. Oh, right here.
Let's see.
So, anybody natural 20s?
Yes.
Oh, look at Akka. Okay, natural 20 for Akka. Anybody with a 25 to 20? All right. 20 to 15?
18.
18.
16.
Okay, so Shay, Heinrich, and Morwen.
What did Nazara get?
Oh, that's a fucking lie. 11.
11.
Sorry. I don't know how to
Okay.
math. I added 15 because that's like my
Math is
that's
hard.
my expertise, but it's really just a 10.
Zara also at 11. What's your dexterity? It's higher than
5.
Zara. Yeah.
What's my dexterity?
What were you holding?
Okay. So, Akka will be going first, then Shay, then Heinrich, then these entities, then Morwen, and then at the last is going to be Nazara.
Okay.
I'm going to switch up to a little bit of a less drummy fighting music. So, Akka, as you peer around this corner, you can see suddenly these clockwork undead, bone fusing with metal, small cogs kind of ticking and whirring. You can see areas where they have probably been repaired and less functional. And so as they move, you can see areas where as like the arm swings forwards, it seems to almost like a locomotive go all the way around the body before back in place.
Awesome.
You can see there is like elements of candy kind of like seeped in and coating this. They all have just seems like simple short swords. But you go first. So Akka, what are you doing?
I am going to shatter them.
Okay.
Right in the middle there, so that it hits the three of them.
Alrighty.
Just kind of a quick.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh boy.
So that's a saving throw for all of them.
Yes, they need to make a dex save and.
Isn't something for
that's
constructs
the
too?
wrong spell. That's the wrong spell.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it's for inorganic creatures. They take more damage.
Gotcha.
Oh, they have disadvantage on
Okay,
saving
okay,
throws.
okay.
A creature made of inorganic materials.
Even
such
with
as stone,
disadvantage,
crystal,
that's
and
not bad. Okay, what's the DC on that?
metal. It's a con save. DC is 18.
They rolled a 14, so that's gonna be a failure. So go ahead and roll damage on that.
All right.
That's thunder damage.
That is 3d6, 3d8 thunder damage.
Very nice.
All right. So scoop doop, boop bop a doop, shadoo. Whew. All right. That is 12.
12.
Yes.
All right. 1 second here. All right. So as you kind of round the corner, you see these things kind of moving over, the bones grinding against metal. You see the sugar glistening and the little bits of light that are here. As you kind of step back, you just go, oh shit, and you hold your hand out, and suddenly there is this deafening crack. You watch as the bones rattle, the gears kind of grind, elements of sugar splinters and falls to the ground, raining down. You see little bits of flies zzz, up from the ground. Anything else?
I think I'm going to bonus action, psionic, push the one here back
Okay, so
into the other one.
is that a save or did they just get pushed
I
now?
believe it's a strength save. But Let me
Okay.
just double check that for you.
You don't even need to because their strength save is a 5. And I'm going to guess that your DC is a little higher than that. So go ahead and move the skeleton closest to the front 10 feet back.
And
It's,
bumps into.
5 feet.
5 feet?
5 feet away from me, which is into that other guy.
Okay. And that other guy is actually just going to kind of step aside as he gets launched backwards.
So he steps here and he takes that spot.
Roll a d6 because as you kind of shove him back and into the wall, he does collide with that. You can see the candy and the skeleton scraping along the candy of the cavern.
That's a 6.
A 6? Okay.
Wow. Max.
Not bad.
It's Nazara's.
Yeah.
Roll the chicken.
So that's 18. All right, Akka, anything else?
I believe that is it. I'm gonna like poke. I mean, I'm mechanically, I don't think I'm moving. I'm like
Staying put.
moving my head back so I'm not just sticking my head through that
Okay.
doorway.
Yeah.
But like staying at the doorway. So,
So
if they're trying to
not
climb through.
physically moving, however, you're kind of, for flavor, pulling back a little
Yeah.
bit. Okay, sure. So you stay in the doorway. That is your turn. That brings us to Shay. Heinrich, you're on deck. Shay, what do you want to do? You kind of maybe 10 feet back. You can see as you come down to the bottom of the stairs, Akka kind of recoiling, and you see the skull beyond.
I think I'll go up and position myself on the opposite side of the doorway from Akka.
Okay.
So this side,
Yeah.
like
Just like kind of
like
around
our
the,
side.
around your side, but like around the corner. And if they get in range, they're
Okay.
they're
So you get ready to attack if whatever is beyond this doorway walks through. Shay, that is your turn. Heinrich, what would you like to do?
Similarly, but just put myself right there, and as soon as I can see them, all ready to Eldritch Blast.
Okay. So you step in, and your first step kind of pulls away. It is sticky on the ground.
Gross.
It is gross. But you make it in, you hold your hand up, the celestial begins to glow and hold around you. But you hold that in case you see them. That is your turn. That brings us to their turn. And then, Morwen, you are on deck. So,
Just tell me what I can do.
there is what? One within your range?
I mean, the closest one is, I think, 10 feet diagonally.
Okay.
With the rock formation kind of in
So
way.
one at a time, they're going to. So as you're standing there, they kind of shift back and they surge forwards, and you can see they begin to kind of climb across this. Elements of the candy from their hands stick onto this like surface, and then as they pull away, like chunks come away with it, and you can see like jagged bits, almost like glass of this sugar. The first one is going to climb up onto that kind of like pile and take a strike at you. It is a 10 hit.
It does not.
All right. The second one takes its place, swinging through. Does an
they're all
11?
rotating.
Does an 11 hit?
It does not.
Oh, great. The third one, swinging through. That is a natural 20, so that is going to be a 28 to hit.
That does hit, I believe.
You doing anything?
Let's see. I think
Sounds like there's something.
Piling up.
I might want to react.
All right. Well, tell me soon.
Let me see. I'm gonna.
So you take 4 points of
Yeah.
slashing damage as he
All right.
swings out with the
Protective
short sword.
field.
Or sorry,
Oh wait, maybe not protective field.
you take 6 points of slashing damage because it's a critical.
Yeah.
And as that happens, suddenly from this short sword, zzz, these kind of spinning blades come from the hilt. You take an additional. Oh, you take. So that's 2 6s, which would be 12. Doubled on a crit is 24 points of slashing
Yikes.
damage.
protective field.
There you go. So what does that look like, and what does it do?
Like from the armor, it kind of like inky essence kind of like pushes out and dulls, like makes kind of like a layer of magical shield where it got hit.
Almost like this venom-like symbiote. As this thing swims forwards, this energy leeches away from these beautiful calligraphy-like marks and seems to form almost like this kind of aurora borealis on top. And it strikes and seems to take some of it before it shatters and the rest of the damage gets through.
So nice. All right, minus 10 from that.
Nice. Very nice. So 14 points of slashing damage.
All right.
Unfortunately, that is all they can do. And they kind of sink back to where they were. What I will say is, in order to do that, though, Heinrich, you do get an attack of opportunity because you can see them.
Yeah, okay. Or at least
they
now I can see
within
them.
range of a spear.
I don't think it's a
Spear?
10-foot range.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and make an attack of opportunity as well. So both of you.
Okie dokie. All three. You can do yours first.
Do I
gotta
get
roll
an
3
attack of
times.
opportunity? No,
You
'cause I
just use your
use my
reaction.
No, this isn't an attack of opportunity. This is this is an action that was held.
Oh, okay.
Dirty 20.
Nice. That hits.
All right. So first one.
10.
10 points.
First one's a 12.
Okay.
Shit roll. That hit.
12.
Yeah.
12 misses.
Yeah. That's what I figured. Second one. 18.
18 hits.
Okay. For 9 force damage.
Hang on 1 second. And that's the first one that's in the doorway, right?
Yeah. The one, whichever one was leaving last, I guess.
So this last one, it strikes down. You see blades emerge from the sword. It cuts into Akka
Right.
badly.
Yeah.
This feel kind of negates some of the damage, but you see the magic itself shatter.
Yeah.
As it pulls away, you unleash these eldritch blasts.
Yeah. And the last one.
You don't need to roll anymore for this
Oh.
particular skeleton because that as that
Explodes.
hits, you can see it goes within the rib cage. You see the eldritch energy ripple out before the
Okay.
whole thing explodes. Akka, you are pelted with bones and bits of burning fragment.
Okay.
I'm gonna shield up and block it.
There you go.
Any of the other ones available for the
yeah,
last
you
one?
can hit the second one.
Yeah, I'll hit the second one. That one's a 21 to hit
21 hits.
for a total of 14 force damage.
14 force damage. Nice.
So
That thing kind of.
I'll shove it against the wall. Why not?
Okay.
Because this is a 10-foot wide
Roll a
hallway.
d6.
So
Hi-ya.
one of them is shattered.
4
right?
more.
One of them is shattered. You can pull one out.
Yeah. So
4
that's
more?
4 more.
Okay. That next one, as you let that go, it kind of hits the side of the wall. Candy explodes. You see molten sugar kind of running down, and as that hits, it doesn't hit quite dead flush, but you watch as parts of it kind of burn, fall away. The celestial light glowing around the undead thing.
Probably looks pretty cool.
It's looking.
All the
that
refraction,
one's
too.
looking pretty hurt. Yeah, and so as this happens through all of this sugar that is melted
Right.
into the sides of the wall, it makes the lights dance across the space.
I just imagine the bolt in slow motion, like with the shadows
Yeah.
and like light refracting along
Absolutely.
the wall.
That is the reactions to their turn. That brings us to Morwen. What would you like to do? Nazara is on deck. You're about 20 feet, like kind of up at the top of the staircase.
20 feet away from
The
an
doorway.
enemy.
Yeah. From the closest enemy,
this?
maybe 50 feet away. A little bit
Okay.
more.
Then I'll use. Let's see. I'll dash and use feline agility to get there.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How far are you going?
That's 30. So
I'm getting up to the first, whichever enemy I can reach first.
So you could temporarily share
scramble.
Akka's space, and then you'll be able to reach one of them.
Yeah, I'm just gonna stab and leave.
Okay, so you did feline agility bonus action, or no, feline agility you just do.
Yeah.
Right.
So great.
No, I did
Action dash.
dash and feline agility to get all of the extra movement so that I can also move back.
Okay, and then this is bonus action attack.
No, bonus action was dash, right?
No, bonus action was to dash.
Rogue.
Rogue. Okay.
Yeah, cunning action.
I
yeah.
see what you're doing. Okay.
All right, and now I'm just gonna attack with loose.
Go for it.
Okay.
As you pull loose out, it glows brightly purple.
Is it gonna hit?
Is that advantage?
Oh, I don't.
I mean, I'm within
You're
5 feet,
within,
right?
yeah.
Because it's just on the other side of
So
the
you
doorway.
have to be. Hang on. There has to be an ally. I think because there are two enemies kind of touching each other, and you also have an ally. I don't think you
I think
get
it negates
advantage
it.
off that.
I think it has
This
to
is
be
one of the
an
very
enemy,
few-
like an enemy. What is it? Not an ally of the enemy within 5 feet, and make sure that they don't have an ally within 5 feet.
Something like that. But because right now you do not have advantage.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So that would be a 16.
16 just hits.
Yay. Right, so that is first for an 8, and then you said loose is glowing. So would
Correct.
that be an undead
That would be an undead situation. So roll the
Okay.
additional damage for that. The first one was 7.
8. 7
7.
radiant damage.
That's enough. So as you swing forwards, you kind of
Alright.
push Akka a little bit to the side and swing loose through. As the celestial energy from Heinrich's thing kind of falls away, the teal light is taken over by this purple. And as you drive it forward, it's almost as if this additional magic burst explodes the skeleton from within. Little gears and things fly everywhere and kind of bounce off the walls. But it is dead.
All right, I'm also gonna run back behind Heinrich, but I may be puking just a little bit.
Okay.
Because this is all really disgusting. I'm still not feeling good.
Yeah, it's sugar everywhere. And so
Yeah,
as
so I'm
you
running back like.
Yeah, even as you kill that skeleton and it kind of ruptures, little
my
bits
God,
of
your
sugar
mouth.
strike you in the face.
Like I just barely miss you. Like I'm like.
You rush away. That is your turn,
Floor
Morwen?
is a little slippery. Yes.
Okay, that brings us to Nazara. If you could just
Checking.
put her out the doorway. she's going to hold her action, but you see this crossbow leveled kind of at the doorway.
Chicken just like.
Second. That brings us to the top of the round. Akka, what would you like to do? You can see now Shay pull back, Morwen pull back. They're kind of all clustered around the doorway with you. There's one skeleton that you can see left.
I think I'm gonna just smack him with a firebolt.
Okay, go for it.
Just put it in your hand and.
Ooh, that's like an 18 plus stuff. So,
That hits, yeah.
3d10. Oh,
Man, cantrips are so good at later levels.
yeah.
And first level spells.
Yeah. This is good stuff. Alright. That is 14.
14.
14 fire damage.
All right. You lower this firebolt, and as this streaks out again, this light ripples off the wall, creating these reflections. It strikes in. You see candy separate, and little bits of gears kind of fly out. Smoke begins to pour from the cavity of this thing, but it's still up.
Bonus action, I'm gonna shove him into the wall.
Okay, yeah. It's a, what does it get? Like it's a strength?
Strength save. Yeah.
15.
That does not.
All right, so roll d6 as you shove it backwards.
2.
2. You shove it backwards, and it's less the shove. It kind of like resists it, but there's so much shit just on the ground. Broken candy, gears, little other things. It kind of slides in that, but
Kind of that melty.
yeah, kind of collides and then rebounds off. That is your turn?
Loosened up some of it with the firebolt.
That's your turn, Naka?
Yeah, I think
That brings us to Shay.
that's it.
Heinrich, you're on deck. Shay, as far as you can tell, just this one entity smoking, like staggering, bones falling away in the hallway. What do you want to do?
Can I reach it from where I am with the spear? Or no?
No.
No,
Other
you
side
need to
of the
get
wall.
into the actual place.
Cool, I'm going through Akka.
Okay. So, Akka, you get shoved aside as Shay just like bodies her way through the door. You can see planting one hand on the sugar and separating. The hand doesn't peel or like, you don't hear the sound of sticky sugar. Go ahead and make your
bouncing
attack roll
around.
as you enter the hallway.
Doing corkscrews and stuff.
27?
27 hits. Go ahead and roll
And-
damage.
13?
13. Tell us how it happens. What's the
I just
I
pretty much did it.
Shower of candy and gears and
So you watch as Shay places a hand on this mound of candy that almost obfuscates the doorway. You kind of shift your momentum around and curl through, and as you enter the doorway, you have the spear outstretched in front of you.
There we go.
You go straight through, severing the spinal column of this thing, and the candy out and across. From all the rest of your perspective, you see Shay just disappear into the hallway, and candy out and scattering at your
Burst into
feet.
treats.
Shay, you look up in this hallway just in time. You see 3 figures in this far hallway. You see a light, a candle burning on top of a skull, flickering itself on top of a book. You can see a strange altar behind. You can see boxes kind of burning and on fire as if this place is being destroyed. You see this orc, look up and make eye contact, smile, and the hand turns, and suddenly, from the side, what you saw is this pile of rubble just crawls across.
before even that, heading down and he's getting the rest of the attacks.
What is your move? So
Should I
hang on. I
reveal
think you
this?
should have enough, but hang on.
75.
So from there, it was
75?
5, 10, 35
here.
to get there.
So go ahead and pull that away.
Ah, shit. How am I gonna do this?
I'll circle over here real quick. Set this up for you.
I think that worked pretty well. Just trying not to get in the way of camera that's looking at Joe. Sorry, everyone. This is just impossible.
This orc is the one that you're looking at. Let's see the picture of this quick. Back here. But you see 3 figures, black robes. The orc looks up, smiles, begins to cast a spell.
Already going over it. He's taking the other 2 hits.
Okay. So
Onto
you
the table?
burst
On the table.
through.
Onto the table!
And as you do, for what it is worth, something slams shut behind you.
Oh no.
27
27 hits.
for 7.
7 damage. So you can see the smile, these tusks kind of like white in the dark. There is fire in this room. And so, you can see like the shadows cast. This is a very arrogant smile. And as they lift up their hands, you're already like halfway down the hall. You see the smile falter, but still completes the spell. You burst through as this wall of like almost melted together skeletons of like clockwork undead, a wall just to the side and close. You are now within this space, but all of a sudden he draws back and you just hear this what and hit him straight in the face.
And it's a 22 for the follow-up on arm.
That hits as well.
Max damage, 13.
13, so a total of 20 damage. So he just goes, what? Straight in the head, and you can see stumbling backwards already, almost drops his staff. Anything else?
He'll kick back off the table, like attempting to like kick it at him as I backflip off.
Okay, make an athletics check, I guess.
17?
17. He got real close to that. So you back off, kind of kicking the table, and it kind of hits him in the side, but doesn't really do anything. But that is your
That
turn.
looked cool.
I mean, more
It
like
looks cool.
the table's now between the two of us.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
on
So
its
if you want
side.
to put yourself on the other side of that,
And flip that table.
yeah, you can flip the table over. That's fine. Heinrich, you're up. What would you like to do?
Seeing Shay run in there, I'm gonna just push by Akka and get basically into the hallway.
Okay, so yeah, you make your way
I can
into the
basically
hall.
make
That's
it.
just in
I
the
can make it
way.
here, and then that's it. That's as far as I can go. What do I see?
You see about a dozen or so old corpses, components of the assembled souls now woven together to form a twisted wall to block the passage.
Okay.
Even as you see it, you can see here and there the limbs just twitch and the gears spin.
Okay.
They seem relatively inert, but it is a pretty solid wall.
Okay. I'm gonna just start firing at it.
Yeah, make your attack
Three
rolls.
fucking. You're like, nope.
Like,
My friend's in there. All right. First one's 24.
what
It hits.
happened?
Okay.
You can just roll damage. You're
Okay.
gonna hit these no matter
Okay.
what. It's a
So
wall.
so 8 damage.
Shay, let me go.
14 damage. So 22. And then another. Oh wait, that's even more. Then 13 damage.
So
so
for a total of 35?
35. Yeah.
So one after another, you blast this thing. You see bits of like skeletons being blown away. Cogs fly across and scatter. Some of them like glowing orange with this heat. Still a pretty formidable wall there, but you are making decent progress through it.
Yeah. That's it.
All right, that brings us to their turn, I believe. It does. Okay, so yeah, I'm just gonna have them go on the skeleton's turn for ease's sake. Give me 1 second here. Okay, so Shay, the orc, if you could back up next to that cage, and then I think the other ones are all gonna stay put.
No one wants to help on that side. Just
No, I
staring.
think he's got
You're just
it.
staring at him.
What do you want me to do? Like, take it out of his hand?
military push
Yeah,
sticks.
like the right angle little like bamboo sticks.
Yeah,
just to-
that's what we need. Is one, yeah, exactly. One of the battlefield, the generals pushing their
Exactly,
troops
yeah.
around. So,
I see why they have it now. It's much more elegant.
Shay.
Instead of,
Little bit
All of a sudden, around the individuals that you can see, most of them holding staffs of some kind, this sickly purple and black energy begin to ripple up and around them. You're going to be taking Eldritch Blast attacks from 3 individuals. Yeah. So, first one is going to be that is an 18 to hit
That misses.
and a 14 to hit.
That misses.
So the first one, the one all the way over by that pile of treasure, holds out the staff. These gross purple bolts of energy ripple past you. You dive off the table, kicking it forwards as you do. The first one going underneath you, the second one over top. The person all the way on the side closest to me is going to fire twice. That is going to be a 13 to hit and a 23 to hit.
And 23 will hit.
Excellent. That is going to be 12 points of necrotic damage. And as this hits and strikes into you, the scars on your arms flare to life as you see these maggots fall away. The last one, and you take full damage from that, right?
Yes.
Okay, so the last one is also going to do that. That is going to be a 23 to hit and a 11 to hit. So the 23 hits. That is going to be 8 points of necrotic damage. And again, this one strikes you. You see these things wriggle off of you and then crumble into smoke as they hit the ground. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. You feel these maggots begin to kind of burrow into your skin. You just scrape them away. That is their turn. That's all that they can do, I believe. That is going to bring us to, I believe, Morwen. Morwen, what do you want to do?
Also push past Aga.
Yes. I can get there
Stood in the
60
doorway.
feet, right?
I was killing the things that
Sorry, I
were
can't really
5,
see.
10, 15, 20, 25, 30,
You
35,
can go
40, 50.
Probably
You'll get to the very end of the block after Heinrich with 60, I believe. I also can't see.
1, 2,
so.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for right here.
Yeah.
So that's 35 feet right there.
So then you can go.
So then I'll
5,
use dash again to get to the door.
Okay, so 20 feet gets you to the door. You still have another 10 feet.
Yeah. I'll just.
Just wail on it.
Yeah. I mean, what else am I supposed to do?
Go for it. So you run up to this amalgamation of clockwork undead that have been fused together to form a barrier. You see elements that have already been blasted away, parts that are still smoking. But go ahead and roll damage.
I just roll damage.
Yes, this is not a sneak
It's a
attack because
wall.
these
Oh,
are
that's
not people.
fair. I guess I could hit it, right?
It is an unsuspecting door.
The door dodges, and we're like, oh, go in. Go in.
Go.
All right. All right. So that's an 8, and
Okay.
then would this count as an undead?
You know what? Yeah,
Yeah.
it would.
Nice.
Absolutely.
It's an undead wall.
Absolutely.
8 plus.
Shame on me for not thinking about that.
7.
7? Oh.
So
All right.
it's a nice, healthy 15
Yeah.
against the undead wall.
You strike loose forwards, and as you do, it pierces into these creatures. You see skeletons splinter and crack, and the light seems to almost rip away elements of their being. Does a lot of damage. This barrier still stands, but you can see here and there now through. You can actually see Shay kind of like dodge this blast, and you have to actually move away as little maggots come through the barrier and then into smoke.
Well, for what it's worth, I will not be in direct line of this.
So back
opening.
up.
Yeah, so
I'm
you
not
guys
just
can
gonna have
move
my
away
face
from
like.
that.
Are you going to
Yeah.
move back from the wall?
No, I'm just gonna move to the side.
Yeah, so
Okay.
you're just gonna pull to the side as that happens.
Yeah. Oh no, I'll back up and like sidestep
Yeah,
so I
don't
don't
block
get
the
hit
door.
by your. Yeah, so I'm not Akka-ing the doorway.
There you go.
Alright.
That brings
That's
us to
Akka
Nizara's
word.
Defending
Awkward.
the doorway.
Okay. Nizara shoves her way past you. If you could put her right behind Heinrich.
Okay, is she like up on this?
I mean, Akka's
Yeah,
gotta be.
basically standing
Akka's
on
gotta
it.
be
Fucking
pushed
chicken.
She
in
is
the
chicken.
door by now.
Akka's just into the wall, into the wall, and then he like
I'm
gets up
also
and then
like
into the other
floating
wall.
this whole time.
That's true.
So I'm just like,
Yeah, you're a bead curtain.
yeah.
You're like,
Excuse me.
Nizara shoves her way past you and climbing up onto this sugar thing. You can see she pulls up this crossbow,
The chicken rests nicely on it.
closes the black eye, the golden one focused on this kind of thing. She is actually going to burn a
No,
grit
this
point.
is fine because you all soften up the door, and then I'll be able to go through and fuck them all up.
This is now kind of like, Shay, as you dodge back and land, all this kind of like flying over top you, you turn, you can see like Morwen kind of like shying away through. But then at the same time, as Morwen pulls to the side, suddenly you can see Nizara rounding the corner. And this would be like the camera zooming through the cracks and everything. The bolt just back through. You actually have to pull out of the way as it goes through
she's
the
read
wall.
the needle?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Damn!
It is going to hit
Sharpshooter.
the orc individual that you are facing, who is
straight
quite
back.
surprised by that. Oh, man. Okay, so. That is going to be 16 points of radiant damage.
In the face.
And suddenly... And suddenly, this teal light around the injury, and you can see like begins to glow and burn away the wound from within. The orc growls at this, but that is going to be one bolt.
moving?
Nobody looks especially hurt right now, so that's going to be your turn. That is going to bring us to the top of the round, Akka. After being shoved over by almost every single person running by you, what do you want to do?
Get out of the way.
Shay, you're on deck.
Am I able to see through the hole?
To get up there, maybe.
You would need to get closer, and then that, if you got close enough, you could see through. If you wanted, you could make a perception check and try to look through.
I'm gonna finally come through. Be like, thanks, all of you.
Every time you try to get through, somebody else shoves you to the side.
I'm gonna like.
Sorry, force of
I'm
habit.
just gonna hover over everyone.
Yeah, you just sort of like
Ceiling's only
plank
about
over
10 feet
everyone.
high, so it'd be tough to hover over everyone.
Well,
but,
besides Heinrich, I've got like 4 feet of
yeah,
clearance.
fair enough.
Or more.
Yeah, exactly.
What?
So you float over top.
Intentionally,
Or more
like
when?
lower my feet down as I'm going by to like skim them in the top of the head.
Okay, so you
So I'm gonna go up to the door, and now can I see through the hole?
yes. So now up at the top, you can see kind of Shay bending down, and through that, you see where Nazara's bolt still kind of leeching the celestial energy.
Like off of this
Yes.
guy. All right. I'm gonna cast hypnotic pattern on the 2 that I can presumably see. So like on top of this altar-looking thing.
30-foot square.
I think it's 30-foot cube.
30-foot cube.
Cube, sorry.
Okay, and you're shifting it backwards, so it's not going to get Shay.
We can basically take up the back like half of the room.
Yeah. Okay. What kind of save is that for them?
That is a wisdom save.
Okay, so for the one near the gold, that is going to be a 6.
That is a failure.
That is a failure, so they are considered charmed. The one who is all the way at the back, I'm going to do last. The one closest to me,
The orc.
yeah, the one closest to me is going to be a 9.
Okay.
That is also a failure.
And the orc, this is
Wisdom.
wisdom. Well, not that it matters. Okay. 20.
Ooh, that's a save.
Okay. So the orc, the only one that's able to resist that.
Just barely.
So the other 2 are charmed. I don't remember where I put my status markers. I put them down. They're somewhere. I'll figure
That's
it out.
Charm.
Let me just put this down.
I don't know if they'd fit anyway right now.
Yeah, it is a pretty crowded little scene going on.
Yeah.
So as you cast the spell, suddenly these rippling lines of emerald light radiate across the space, and you watch as 2 of these cultists suddenly just shift their attention down. The orc does not seem phased. Anything else, Akka?
Then that orc is getting shoved.
Okay. So go ahead. That is what they make a strength saving
strength
throw.
save.
I feel like it's, a
15?
macro that you've mapped to every spell
that
you cast.
fails.
It's like
15? Okay. So roll a d6. Push them back against the wall.
All right.
Oh, the other one, right? Or is that one?
No, it was the orc.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
okay.
the orc. So that's a 1, and then I'm gonna use a psionic die to add another d6 plus 5.
There you go.
Damn, that's another 1. So
Nice.
6.
It's a total of 7.
So 7 damage off of a piddling shove.
So yeah, I mean, you shove this guy back, and as you see him resist and kind of look around a little bit
I give him
confused, but he
another
turns to
shove
you
with my psionic die, like,
against the thing. As he takes a step forward, again. Anything else?
I can't move through the door, right?
No, at the moment it
can't,
is
like,
blocked, although
fly
it's looking pretty
through it?
damaged. I mean,
Alright.
if you had wanted to use your movement to try to like battering ram it, you could have, but at this point you've done enough stuff, I think, probably.
Yeah, I don't think I have enough movement.
Took 2 out
to
of the
run
round,
back.
which is
So
great.
that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, so I only have 5 or 10 feet of movement left.
Alrighty. Shay, what would you like to do? Heinrich, you're on deck. From your perspective now, you see these 2, and you've seen it before.
I was
Yeah.
about to say, Akka,
Scooch
you
out
can
of the
really
way.
stay in the
Very
doorway
much
again. Noticing that the orc's not affected by Akka.
You
Yes.
can like get
So
past
he's-
me and
he's
stuff.
getting hit.
Get
Alright, yeah,
outside
move
the same
yourself up to
space.
this
Just
work.
like lay down
So
on your feet. and
from as you see this thing fly over top, the emerald light radiates out. The other 2 kind of gazing around at it. This orc steps forwards, and suddenly, from nothing that you can see, is shoved against the wall twice. And they close their eyes, and as they come forward, you're
Just
already
keeping
in
that
their
momentum
face.
going.
Yeah, go for it.
It's a dirty 20.
That hits.
Just face into the wall, face into the wall,
10.
face into the wall.
10. Yeah,
Yeah.
27.
that hits as well.
It's a toughie.
Never
12.
ceases to amaze me.
Okay.
And you know what? He can make a Constitution saving throw. Why not?
Might be able to. 15. So I think that's a failure.
That is a failure.
Yeah. What is he now?
Stunned.
Okay.
So
Probably also dead.
as he is shoved up, bang, against the wall, struggles forwards and begins to reach forward, bang, against the wall from the telekinesis, finally pulls back. The other hand going forward as he pulls himself away is just struck again and again and again. There's a con save, so he fails.
Stunned.
The last strike, just like it jolts his head back, and you hear it snap against the stone, and he comes away, the eyes unfocused, kind of dazed.
And he's gonna take the last hit because why not? Or
Yeah.
he's gonna-
That's at advantage too.
He's stunned now.
25.
Yeah.
25 hits,
Cartoon lump is gonna have to.
7.
7 points of damage, not bad.
And then
It's looking kind of rough.
I'm gonna back up to the table.
Okay. You kind of pull back the other two individuals. You see one of them kind of like lazily looking, and they seem just disoriented. They're looking at you, but they don't see you. That is your turn. That brings us to, I believe, Heinrich.
Yep. Just blasting the door.
There you go. Make your attacks.
My job is simple here.
You start firing.
No
and we
attacks,
both
right?
Like,
Well, I would argue. Would we make attacks just for the sake of potential crits, or no? We've
If
been
you
doing
want.
it. We've been doing it
You can-
without,
you
but
can if you want. Yeah.
yeah. Because what if
Why
I
not?
crit?
Yeah,
What if
why
I
not?
crit?
Why not?
What if I crit?
What the crit?
Oh, I got a 19. That
That
was
was
very
close.
close.
Yeah, that was
All
a
right, so
close
damage is 8 on the first one.
Okay.
19 would probably hit a wall for 12.
Okay.
And then last one, that's a cracked die. That's 26. That hits another 8.
Okay. So with 8, all you needed was 5. The first bolt you see like rents a huge hole, and suddenly you all can see well into the room. The second one, the other side just like rips open. Yeah, bones scatter across Shay. You actually have to like dodge from behind as some of them strike out. And the third one, the rest of the wall just crumbles inwards, bones spilling out across the floor. Many of them sticking to Candy along the way, and so not scattering all the way out. Anything else, Heinrich?
30 feet of movement forward to get towards the entrance to the room.
Okay.
Feel like
So
I
you can be 5 feet in if you want.
Okay.
There
Yeah.
you go. So you step in now. The
Now
guardian
I'm
of
blocking the door.
There you go. The roles have been reversed.
Hey,
Now-
I made the opening and now I'm replacing the
This is
thing that's
fair.
blocking it. It's my job now.
that brings us to their turn.
I earned that right. to
There's a
block
whole
the
lot
door.
of nothing happening on their turn. However, at the end of the turn, do they get to make saves against yours? They do against, I think,
Which one was it?
hypnotic pattern.
yeah.
I think
For you, it's till the end of your next turn.
Correct.
It's a concentration save. They're charmed for the duration.
There you
So
go.
they just need someone else to shake
Yeah,
them out. Or if they take damage,
if
right?
they take any damage, or if
Right.
someone else uses an action to
Right,
shake
so
them
that's
out
so
of
it's
it.
easy to get out, but they can't save.
Correct. So, that is their turn. That brings us to Morwen. At the moment, looking forwards, you see all of these individuals in one way or another stunned. What do you want to do?
I don't think I can get to them.
Ooh, wait. No, but that would be advantage on one of them. So I will.
Yeah, you-
Okay, so I'll use my dash again
Okay.
to get to this guy.
Sure.
Especially because he's near the treasure, so that would make sense.
Try it, sure.
Yep.
And
25 feet.
I'm gonna stab the shit out of him.
Go for it. Stab the shit out of that guy.
It's advantage on this?
Yeah. I mean, he's fucking
incapacitated.
incapacitated.
He's
Yeah.
incapacitated for that alone.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's either
thing there's
a
an advantage.
25
Either a hit or
Either
or
hit
a,
or another
an
hit.
18.
Yeah, that hits.
Okay, cool.
is he undead?
He is not.
Darn.
Not yet.
Wait.
Okay.
Hey.
Alright.
Whoa.
I mean, I guess
lot of
technically he
damage.
is still undead in that he is not currently dead.
He's not undead.
He's still alive. So in that sense, he is undead.
Well, unmeans to
So that is a
remove.
32.
32?
But dead.
Nice.
Sorry, I try to do
Yes.
this math as quick
Could
as I
also just
can.
be
No, I
I'd like to
undead.
think I do it pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because it makes me
Absolutely.
always very nervous.
It's
When I get like
faster-
3s and
it's-
5s, I'm like,
It's faster than I could do it. So you, as
How much was
Heinrich,
that total? I'm sorry.
35.
Okay, good, nice.
As Heinrich bursts
Just
the wall inwards and you see bones scattering out, you take this
just
moment
like-
to slip through the door. You hurtle over this half fallen over table and find yourself right in front of this stunned cultist. The eyes are dazed, and without trouble, you stab straight into their abdomen.
I feel like you run up and just be like, "Excuse me." Yep.
Essentially, yes.
I like
no.
puke on his face just a little bit.
Throw up a little bit, still stunned. You see the eyes like struggling to turn to you, but this far away look. A little bit of blood comes out of the mouth.
I mean, certainly with that, he's back into
Sheds a
Attention.
You would imagine, yeah. That happens on his turn, though, or on her turn.
So
Yeah.
pretty.
Anything else?
Yeah, I'm going to use the extra move. I think I have maybe like 10 feet.
15 feet.
15 feet. I want to get behind a. Can I get like right behind a.
Yeah,
squeeze
yeah.
between the table.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna like.
Do that and crouch.
yeah. So you leap
I'm
over
not,
the
I'm
table.
not gonna hide, but I'm taking cover.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
The red jacket like settles behind, and then the ears.
Doing the
You got some decent cover for ranged
getting ready to
attacks. That's
pounce
fine.
thing.
Absolutely. Morwen, that is your turn. That brings
Indeed.
us to Nazara. Everybody is. Oh, well, no. She sees that one person that's been jolted awake. If you could move her over to where you are, Akka, the rubber chicken.
All right.
Move
I
to
mean,
Akka. Akka, she puts a hand on your shoulder and holds the crossbow out. You see one eye squint shut. And she's going to take a shot at that orc all the way down.
Hold on, I
It's
need
advantage. It's 23 to hit. That is going to hit. And
is that a
Imagine
hit?
if it was
Good
like a
hit.
chicken where you
that is
squeezed it
15
and it shot in
points
there.
of radiant damage as this bolt strikes, and you see like these celestial sparks out of the wounds,
Same
mixing
one
with the
that
blood.
she hit before, yeah.
Similar, yeah. Do you mean the person?
The same person
Same
she hit
orc,
before?
yeah. That's the orc
not
cultist.
again.
They are looking really rough as the glow dies down. You see the eyes like shaking, blood just running down the face. The orc is in bad shape. That is Nazara's turn. That brings us to the top of the round. Akka, what do you want to do? Shay, you're on deck.
I guess from here, seeing that one just got stabbed out of his stupor and the other one's close to dying, I think I would I would make my way in. Sorry, Nazara. Make my way in probably about.
You brush Nazara's hand off your shoulder and surge forwards.
And
Push your way past Heinrich in revenge.
I think I'm gonna hit him with another firebolt, I think.
Yeah, go ahead. Make your ranged weapon attack. Raised spell attack, rather.
That's an 18.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Alright. So that's another 3d10. Yeah, 3d10 of fire damage. Had to find all of my dice that are all always in here.
Yeah, you made a whole collection there. What kind of dice do you need?
I'm looking for. I've got like all these D10s. There we go. All right. That's 16. No, 19 fire
19?
damage.
Yeah. 19 fire damage. Damn.
Good roll. Yeah.
You step through and fire the bolt out. The light takes the entire thing, and you see like ripples along the sugary walls. It strikes in, and you see this black robe begin to smolder and burn down. They're up, but badly hurt.
I'm gonna shove him.
Okay, yeah.
So he's gonna make a.
I believe they automatically fail. They're incapacitated.
Is he still incapacitated? He was the one
No,
that Morwen
jolted out.
stabbed.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay. Not that it matters, I don't think. I don't think they can even succeed. That's pretty good, though. 19.
Oh, that does just succeed.
There you go.
Yeah. Alright, then I guess that is it for me.
Okay.
I'm gonna maintain my concentration.
Fantastic. Shay, what would you like to do? You see this cultist struck twice, kind of clearing the cobwebs out of their head. The other one badly hurt in front of you. And the one just stunned.
The orc, the one that I stunned.
Yep.
gonna walk up to him, kind of kick his knee out from underneath him,
Okay.
and like start working on tying him up.
Okay. You kick the knee out from underneath. That make an attack just for fun.
13.
13.
Kick his kneecap.
That's 13 damage.
No, that's
He's never going to
You
walk
mean-
again.
damage.
You're gonna hit him. He's
His
6.
kneecap is
6.
just obliterated.
Give me a second here.
I'm
I
just gonna
used to
break
be
his
an
spine
adventurer
like real
like you.
quick.
Not unconscious, but badly hurt.
Shake it to
You
the
kick
knee.
the leg. You feel like the leg bend unnaturally forwards as they crumble to the ground, and you begin to tie them up. At the end of your turn, they're no longer stunned, I believe.
Right.
So they begin to resist as you do that. But we'll get back to that.
At least a very bad ending
Heinrich.
for the rest of his
Uh-huh.
life.
You watch as Shay walks forwards, kicks the knee out from this orc, and then begins to tie them up. They begin to struggle.
Perfect. Was just gonna say the same thing, and then I'm gonna turn over to the one that Morwen's been and Aka's been railing on. First bolt, potentially not all of them
Make
at
an
it.
attack roll, yeah.
So Eldritch Blast, blank. 21,
21 hits,
13.
13 damage.
Yup.
That's the only one you need. As you
Perfect.
kind of like pull your hand out, the celestial glows
Just
in
like
the space.
good work, poof, and then poof, to
Yeah,
the
you
other
see
guy.
it hits him right in the neck, and the neck like buckles inwards as they crumble forwards.
Yeah.
Next attack.
Just wiping these guys out. I feel almost bad. The other one that Shay isn't tying up gets the other two.
Okay, make your attack rolls.
All right. First.
For what it's
is,
worth, that
Just
person
tie
is
him up.
uninjured. That
Yeah, yeah.
person
Tie
in
him
the back, yeah.
He's incapacitated.
14.
14 misses.
Yeah, that's what I thought. It's also max damage, so boo.
Ooh,
And then the last one, another 14, so miss.
14 misses
Nice.
as well.
I mean, I'm trying to split with one
No one
finger. I'm
ever.
trying to split in a 90-degree angle
So yeah,
shots. I'm
you
just like,
watch-
nice. Yeah.
And the other ones just kind of like they go right towards them and they kind of stumble a little bit and out of
Yeah.
the way and out of the way.
Yeah.
And they're
Oh
unhurt.
wait,
I'm like,
wouldn't I
just
have
don't-
advantage on him since
You
they have-
would, yeah.
Oh well then.
Yeah,
Don't-
Oh
absolutely.
no, we don't want you to.
Don't hit him.
Okay, first one missed, and then the second one would have been a 27.
27 hits.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
So
Roll
13
damage.
damage.
on 13 damage.
Yeah.
You could just
All
tie
right.
him up. You don't have to kill everything that you see.
I'm not. No, this is the one that hasn't been hit yet.
The sparks
Yeah, he's
just
incapacitated.
He's just kind of chilling there. So
So you
the
tie him
sparks
up while he's
explode
stunned.
across
good.
the ground as you cast this, and he does seem to blink. Or yeah, he seems to blink out of whatever stupor he was in.
Mm-hmm. oh, and knock him back into the wall
Roll d6.
for 2 more.
Nice.
More shove.
Just kind of bangs his elbow
Yeah.
against the wall and rebounds off. That is your turn.
Shoving
Heinrich.
on down to Candy
We
Town.
are a
That brings
party
us
of
to their
shove.
turn. They look around. There is like fire raging all around them. You can smell like burning candy as the fire is spreading to the ground. It turns back and can see Shay tying this individual up.
Caramelization.
They're going to drop their staff at this point, probably, and just kind of put their hands up and back away. That individual is going to just look around and say, I give up.
Perfect.
That is their turn.
Yeah, the one
That
who-
brings us to...
What about the one who's being tied?
They don't say anything. They're being tied up. They're technically in a different part of the initiative order. They're after the cultists. They're being tied up. Let me look at a spell real quick. Hang on. I'm gonna have them make a concentration check to see if they can pull this
Oh
off.
no, he's using self-destruct.
That
Draw-
happened to me once when I found a shiny. I'm just saying.
Oh, that
The
sucks.
shiny
It was the
vault orb?
worst. No, it was a shiny
Electrode?
No,
Geodude?
Geodude's Graveler.
Graveler.
It was a
Oh,
Graveler.
yeah, those
And I was like, oh, sick. And then, boom.
Pokemon
Covered in
Nocturne.
glitter.
So this individual, you can see, begins to like fumble around and attempt to do something. You smack their hands away, preventing them from doing any of the somatic components that they would need for the spell. They're unable to cast that spell. They are going to attempt to move away from you, which does provoke an attack of opportunity.
Can I use it to like grapple and
Ma-
continue?
yeah. You make an athletics check.
Hug him.
They rolled a 6.
18.
Yeah, so you smack their hands away. They begin to kind of crawl away. You kick their arm out and they poof onto the ground, still prone. That is their
Also
turn.
removing elbows. arms, along with the kneecaps.
Yeah, I know, really. You're just like dismembering this individual
Like the
while they're
opposite
still
of
alive.
padding.
That is their turn. That brings us to Morwen. What would you like to do?
Kneecap.
Morwen, you can see Shay just kicking this person that's down. And then there
The
is
other
an
one's
individual
surrendering.
off to your right who is trying to surrender.
And then this guy is dead?
Yes.
Okay,
He's
so
dead?
I'm going to go over to this treasure.
Just start looting.
And I'm straight up, no, I'm not yet, because I want to suss out the chest, but I am going to get on top of it and just be like... But I'm also kind of puking too, so I'm like, it's mine.
So, yeah.
Can you
as
use
kind
this
of-
as an intimidation, arguably,
So
to the
this
guy
guy's
who's
dead.
surrendering?
Like, I'm very much, like, squirreling up on it.
Like, I
It's weird,
like it's
but not
insanity.
intimidating.
It's like insanity. I
but-
would be terrified if someone was
It's,
like
it's
doing.
very, like, rabid. Yeah. Or feral. Yeah.
So you crawl across, half standing on this corpse, half on this treasure pile, just hissing. As one
Kiss
does.
and puke.
Little cute.
Cuss and butts and hiss and puke.
The good old hiss and puke.
Yeah.
For Nazara's turn, you can see she first points at the one that is already dead, sees Morwen crawl across it, recognizing that it's dead, turns to the one that you are engaging with, sees you kick its knee out, then its elbow out, and kind of turns to the last one who is surrendering. She's going to hold her action to shoot the one that's surrendering if he does anything.
Yep.
Akka, that brings us to you.
I guess I would go up to the one who's surrendering and start binding him up. Like ropes, probably put something in his mouth so if he has any somatic spell. Because,
You
like,
go-
I've dealt with
Sure.
magic users.
You go
before.
forwards with the ropes, and you can see he just holds his hands down, like slowly pulls his hands down. Kind of just says, I won't do it. And you right into his mouth. Shut him up. But doesn't struggle in any way, shape, or form. He is restrained. That is your turn.
And then I'm going to look over at the other one. Is he still struggling?
Yeah.
Shove.
Yeah, I'm going to shove him.
No,
Yeah.
no.
go ahead.
This guy's got no
Like,
knees,
stop resisting.
kneecaps, no elbows.
Wouldn't he be at a
Just
disadvantage?
stop resisting. Technically,
should-
yeah, he
Yeah.
failed.
He
But
should
Oh, okay.
He should auto fail because he's prone.
Yeah.
to be shoved?
Yeah.
Is that?
Mind shoved. I'm just
Is
I
it
guess if you're
athletics
rolling
check?
around
I
on the
don't think
ground
so.
and someone
No.
pushes you, what are you going to do to resist
I'll check
it?
that. Is it disadvantage? Either way, he fails. That's a
Grappled
4.
or prone?
4. Okay.
So what? It depends. What are you trying to do?
Disadvantage on attack rolls.
Shove him.
So
Whatever
just
you want.
push.
Failed
Push.
anyway,
Push.
so.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious.
So
for
roll a d6.
mechanics.
That will shove them into the wall.
4.
4. Hang on.
While she is like surfing on him.
Okay, so yeah, Shay, as this person tries to get away, you kick out their elbow, they fall to the ground, they like try to pull themselves up, and suddenly they're pulled away from you. I don't think they leave your range.
Just slam
He
into the
just
wall
goes
right next to him.
slammed up against the wall, right? He can't
Yeah.
really go anywhere.
Yeah, so just slammed
up
into the
against
wall.
Cage.
You hear this kind of as the air leaves them as they like impact. Anything else? Whoops, sorry about that.
I'm just making sure this other guy doesn't try anything now that he's all bound
Definitely
up.
doesn't seem to be trying anything. Shay, what would you like to do?
I mean, continue trying to restrain and tie up this individual.
Okay, make an athletics check. I'm gonna make it a disadvantage for them.
I mean, Shay, we only need one.
Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So, like, as they are shoved against this, they rebound, and you take that moment to grab their hands and just bind rapidly around. They try to pull away, but for the moment, they are restrained, and you are underway binding them. Also, I'm going to pull you guys out
Yeah,
of
I mean-
initiative at this moment.
I can't imagine they'd do much.
Yeah. At this point,
do.
yeah, in pretty rough shape. So,
Are either of these cages empty and or open?
looking up really quick, the cage that you can see, the tall kind of cylindrical one is open and empty. The sort of rectangular one is closed and also empty.
Once I have him bound, I'm going to drag him over into the empty open one.
Excellent,
And just,
excellent.
I guess I'll go working on opening the square one.
Okay, give me just 1 second here. So, you, Heinrich, go up to the square one, and you can go easy enough. It's unlocked.
Well, I'll
There's no
thaumaturgy it open. I'll
Okay,
try
so-
that first. Is it unlocked or not?
opens.
Yeah. That slams though. Thank you. Per the rules of the spell.
Little bits of sugar
Yeah.
down from the ceiling.
And I just kind of like look over to the one that Aka's binding and just sort of like gesture for him to walk in.
All right, I'm just gonna go. Or sorry, he's bounds. He just walks in.
You got it.
Just kind of plops down to like his back against the bars, slides down to a
Yeah.
sitting position.
Is there a lock on it?
There is a lock. The padlock is off on the side of the floor. You can pick it up.
Yeah, just
No problem. Locked.
Well,
dust my hands.
which one do we ask questions about?
I'm just gonna, while I'm like sitting or like, what is it, perched on this chest, just
Sure.
gonna yell at one of them and be like, why was I itchy earlier?
The first question of this
Okay, who are
journey.
you directing that towards?
Whoever will answer. I'm saying it pretty loudly in the room.
Okay. From within the first cage, you hear the guy just go, it's bound and kind of unable to answer. The orc, who is now bound and kind of struggling, turns and smiles and looks at you. Did you touch the body?
Yes.
Just kind of turns. Shay, to you as you bind, just you hear this kind of deep guttural, and then spits right in your face.
Oh, how rude.
How wooed.
Fizz
Wait.
comes up.
Wait, do I see this?
Yeah.
I'm going to walk up and puke in his face.
You just run right up to him like, no one does that to my
no,
foot.
I feel it coming, and I just like football tackle across the room, just like, and then I run back to my chest.
Make an athletics check, Mara.
It's
To make
only
it
in
there in
defense.
time.
That was rude.
Shay, the spit right in your face, and in the moment as you feel the anger well up, you just hear these boots as they cross over. What was it?
19.
And suddenly, candy up as like almost ice hockey style. Morwen slides across the floor, like on her hands and knees, a little bit of puke trailing before onto this orc. As the orc, mouth still open from spitting on you, just vomit.
I'm gonna go back to my chest though. I go back to my
You
perch.
get to crawl back. Shay, what do you do?
So hand came up, seeing this,
Hand goes down.
hand goes down, just by the ankles, drags him over, throws him in the cage.
And immediately, like as you begin, like you get off of him, you can hear him just and just start throwing up everywhere. Morwen's
So much
vomit
puke.
out of the
Not being
awful.
gentle, like just dragging, face smacking into the stone.
Aka's over in the corner, just like,
Yeah.
Everyone else starts
onto the
puking.
ground, still throwing up in the cage. You can see the other prisoner bound, gagged, like using his feet to try to kick himself all the way back up against this fence. Gross.
please do this right.
Nazara watches all of this, and he turns to you, Heinrich.
I'm
and
just kind of standing by the entrance and like,
she just threw
familiar
up on a
sight.
captive.
Well, Heinrich, you didn't complain when I made the soup.
Oh my god.
No, I don't say that. I do not say that, but I think it. I think
Nazara
it real hard.
crosses the space over to you, Morwen. Are you okay?
No.
In many ways,
She like reaches off and unclips this flask and passes it to you. It's water.
That's why you shouldn't eat so much candy.
I'll save it for a beer, thank you, though.
All right.
all right, Nazara,
Which of
you
these
know
two-
the most. You know the most about this.
She's like
group
still looking
so
at
far.
Morwen, like closing.
I
the
got it. I'll walk
flask.
over and be like, I got it. Like, no, you should. And I'd pull out the decanter of endless water and like threateningly be like, have some water.
No.
I'm not gonna do it.
Only if you tell me if
Scallions.
this,
Ah.
if this
I
chest
saw
is
them
okay
burning.
to open.
Huh?
The stuff I saw them burning when I came into the room.
Yeah, still smoldering.
I want to go check it, see
Okay.
if there's anything
I'm
I can
gonna-
salvage.
Ask the two of them in the cages now. Which one of you are we gonna ask questions to?
Okay, so
Who knows
one thing
more?
at a time here. So Shay, you head over to the table. Things still smoldering. Make an
Which one of you always
investigation
tells
check.
the truth and which one of you
I
always
was
lies?
literally just looking at
14.
14. You quickly pad out some of these pieces of paper. There are handwritten things. Yeah. So this whole table, there's like burning fire.
Not
you
too
walk up
fast,
to
you'll
it.
fan the flame.
You walk up to it, and it's just your hand, like all of them out. Smoke. The bits that still smolder, you see handwritten notes in common. You do read the elements of what was at one point the word that was grotesque, and you get the sense that this was a list, still kind of smoldering and burning. You would need help putting this together in a way that would be readable, if it even could be.
I'll motion to Heinrich.
You
I'll start
see,
helping.
kind of like pulling that aside, there are other papers. You see something about forbidden circles. You see something about beneath the Badlands. That is kind of what you would find there in terms of like the documents that are left. But it seems to be this was at one time directions or instructions.
It would point all this out to Heinrich.
Sure. Akka, what was it that you wanted to do?
I want to be like, so which one of you knows more about what's going on here?
From within the Oryx cage, you just hear and still throwing up as they had somebody else vomit into their open mouth. You get the sense they're not going to be talking anytime soon.
Probably, I had that sense anyway. Given that
The
he was
gray
spitting
skin
on-
is going to become like waxy and pale. Like they're losing a lot of fluids.
All right.
The one who is bound and gagged, their hands, you just see.
All right. I'm gonna mage hand telekinesis his gag off of him.
Okay.
And
Who just did that?
don't worry about that. You're not asking the questions. What's going on here? What were you trying to do?
We're getting rid of everything. We're moving on.
Where?
We're heading east.
What's east?
How did you all find this place? And
Mind sliver.
okay, that's a saving throw, correct?
Yes.
Save, I believe.
That is going to be an 11.
That's a failure.
Nice.
So he takes 3d6 psychic damage,
Can you
and he subtracts a d4 from his next saving throw
Okay, so roll that
for
damage.
the end of my next turn. But what did I say? 3d6? Yeah. That is 10.
10. Okay, that's not too bad.
Yeah, he was at full health pretty much, so
Yeah, no, he was. Almost.
I'm like, yeah, I can spare a couple intimidating.
The eyes shut, and you can see he just kind of squints against it. A little bit of blood like runs down the
I
nose.
said, you're not asking the questions.
It was you. You pulled this off. Kind of like gesturing.
Answer my question.
You can see like blinking the cobwebs out, a little bit disoriented. What was your question?
What is east?
The temple. It was Astreus' temple.
So it is Zystris.
Yeah.
Okay, we've confirmed that. What were you doing here before you were going to leave?
We were looking for something. Some things. But a bunch of folks found something we were looking for. They cut us off. So we're headed on and going back and looking for the next thing.
I'm just gonna yell over while I'm like arranging these papers. Where's the next thing? I'll boom my voice with thaumaturgy and make it all deep.
Make an
and
intimidation
scary.
check, sure.
Yeah.
Nice.
So nat 20 total
Nice.
of
Very nice.
intimidation.
Yeah,
25.
25.
Yeah.
And you said specifically, what did you say?
So
Where's
what's
the next
yeah?
thing? Or
Where's
what-
the next
yeah.
thing? Not what is. Where's the next
Where is
thing?
the next thing?
Yeah. We can
And
figure
I
out
will
what
follow
it
it
is.
up with what are the things you are
Is
looking
it,
for.
we'd be like, is it the rituals? Is it the person? Is it the?
no,
yeah,
I'm not going to let him know that we know anything.
That's
I'm going to
true.
ask him what are the things.
The
that
next
he's
thing is the
looking
soul jar.
for.
Where?
Soul
Is
jar.
it?
Somewhere in Mudtown.
That was one of the items on the list that was
Correct.
stolen, right?
Okay, soul jar, mud town. Okay.
Soul jar in
You could-
Mudtown. What else were you looking for?
Rituals, like you said, but we didn't find any.
Where would you have looked next?
again, we're moving on. It's not going to be in Dungannon, so we'd find out once we got to the temple. What are you all going to do with me?
This time, because I don't know how much health he's got left. I don't know. How's he looking?
Make a medicine check.
Wait, are these the people raising the dead people?
As far as you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Morwen, you did fight this group of cultists, although they looked a little bit different, back in Port Quentin.
Do
This
they
is
have the
Midnight
same
Assembly.
iconography?
Similar tentacles instead
Right.
of that kind of
Yeah.
clockwork.
An 11.
An 11. You look up and they seem fine. You know, a little bit of blood coming down the nose.
Another mind sliver
Yeah,
for
go
that
ahead. Roll
question.
damage on that. That's going to be a failure, I would assume, because it's disadvantage, I believe, right
It's
now.
minus a D4.
Minus a D4.
Minus a D4.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe not.
Does
We'll
it
find out.
stack?
I love that.
It stacks, bro.
That's a hard
Minus
fail.
D4.
So
Get on
they rolled a
spawn.
2, and then they rolled a 3 on the D4, so -1.
That's a success.
Yeah, it wraps around.
That is 9 more points of damage.
9 more points. Damn.
Psychic damage. And he has disadvantage on the next one.
Double
or not disadvantage,
disadvantage.
sorry. Minus
Again,
D4.
he just goes, and this time it's like of like blood that spatters down, runs across the lips. He pulls his hands out and kind of wipes it away. What are you? What are
Any
you,
other questions?
Yeah,
And,
when you leave,
like,
will the dead people
looking
remain dead?
not-
turns across and kind of squints through the bars across the way at
And
you.
it's just like the eyes.
Eyes
Yeah.
gleaming over
And a little
top.
bit of a smile.
With a little bit of puke.
We're not the only ones here.
Where are the others?
Scattered around. But
In Dungannon?
the undead aren't just us. You know, we're helping, but stuff before we got here.
What's in the
You can
vault?
see he's like getting ready to almost throw up.
Yeah.
He's like very disoriented now.
Yeah. What's in the vault?
The vault. Oh, we the folks that were here before us. Bodies. Easiest to get.
Where's
rid
the
of.
key?
Don't open the vault. Don't.
No?
It's trapped. That's a bad one.
Okay.
See, told you guys.
Mm-hmm. Good thing you didn't just say, "Ooh, a lock. Let me pick it."
Well, that's what I'm thinking about this chest. Who's got the key to
Any
this
other
chest?
questions? Not you.
No, Asher has a key, and then there's a key on the decoy body upstairs.
Did he nod over to the guy that
touch
Morwen
that
killed?
guy.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
okay.
the guy that Morwen killed, the one that's still
Oh, okay.
vomiting in the cage.
Oh, okay.
Someone get
I'll
the
go. I'll go over and start searching for the key on his
Make-
person.
With
Live
make an
looting.
investigation check.
Yeah. Live looting.
Maybe like a dexterity save to
18?
avoid getting
No, wait,
puked
15.
on.
15? Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Not too hard. There is
Yeah.
like a leather cord that you can see. Gingerly, you
Just
kind of
like-
reach around the back and like pull it out, and you
Yeah.
can see this key come
Yeah.
away. A little bit of puke, like beginning to kind of. You have to like pull your feet away a little bit, but you slip it over, and
Okay. I'll chuck it to Morwen across the room. There
if
you
you
go.
want, you can add a Sunset Suites employee key to your inventory.
That's not for the vault, right? That's for the chest.
It's a big key. It would definitely fit the vault. And looking at the chest, it might fit the chest.
I'm gonna wait till Heinrich is less busy in
Okay.
case something bad happens.
Look at this character growth.
A little bit. I'm not feeling well. I don't want to double
It's
down.
uncharacteristic.
I'm already puking. I don't want like hair loss too.
Any other questions for this guy?
Look over to Nazara.
What's your name?
I don't care about his name.
My name's Benjon.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to
How
meet
old are
you.
you?
28.
You got a family?
Oh my god, we don't need his
Yeah.
life story, Morwen.
Where are you from?
I'm from Dungannon.
Oh. Do you know the Mud Brothers?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, they're my family.
I'm gonna put the gag back on him.
He's like, I didn't remember.
Well, I was gonna ask Nazara if there's anything that she, because they've been working here on this for a little while too.
Sure.
Do we have any use for them? Do you have any questions for them? Should we
Nazara takes a couple steps forwards.
maybe guidance to the temple?
When we do get to this temple, what's waiting for us there?
I take it back off.
Yeah.
He looks at you and like kind of squints. He's not sure why. Like this is a very out of order kind of thing that's happening. But he turns back to Nazara.
You joining the finger gang finally.
Before we got there was a couple things that I think Zystre's trapped there before. A large, almost like a rock cat-like creature, but it's asleep most of the time.
Does that sound familiar at all?
Make a nature check. There's a creature called a cloaker that rests in the room opposite that. It looks like a dangling bit of tapestry, but it can get kind of nasty if you wake it up.
That was a 9.
I never heard of anything like that.
But a cloak or two, okay.
I'm sure it's been shifted around something, but it was designed to be hard to get through.
What's your end goal with all this? What is Zystre's after?
I don't know that.
How do we get to the temple?
What is your wisdom score?
Mine?
No.
14.
14? This is the first time that you've seen hesitance in him answering, but he looks around, he sees Shay and sees Morwen off, just kind of like still wiping vomit away, and had seen Morwen vomit into this guy's mouth. But he looks and says, look, after all this, if you guys let me go, you need to help me get far away from here. I'll tell you what you want to know. But nothing here is going to be safe. Dominion's not safe.
I mean, if we let you go, what are you gonna go do?
Get the first boat across the Emerald Expanse I could find.
Are you gonna make a new life for yourself?
Gonna try.
Is he being honest?
Make an insight check.
I'm gonna check too.
Make an insight check.
Yeah, like what?
That's all just
is this
a
guy,
round
is
of
this guy
insight.
actual bumpkin?
16.
Like from Dungannon?
21.
His accent would suggest he's from Dungannon, but make an insight check as well.
Mine's a 21.
21? And yours was 18, you said?
16.
16.
Mine's at 14.
Okay. You get the sense that he's being relatively honest. At this point, he's just trying to get out alive. So, like, he hasn't put a lot of thought into this, clearly. But as far as you can tell, he is dead set on getting away if he's going to help you. There's genuine fear in whatever he is turning against here.
I think we should let him go. But what's his name? Benjamin?
Benjon.
I was Uncle Benjamin.
Uncle
Sorry.
Benjamin.
Benjon.
Yeah, based off of that, man.
All right, but this is I'm gonna try and intimidate him a little bit.
Okay.
But if we let you go and we ever find out that you're back with the assembly, just know that I will kill you.
Make an intimidation
Wow.
check. Make it an advantage.
I love that you went from like the goofiest
I have a
moment to
very
that was just like
particular
a
set of
straight.
skills.
Yeah, I
I
know.
can puke and I can kill.
You're not wrong.
Why are
Wait, what am I doing?
Intimidation.
Let him go.
Oh, that's let's see.
At least turn him over to the.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
The what?
What
The
I
guards?
rolled.
The
Intimidation.
I
authorities?
know, I don't. I roll. I
Roll
don't.
again.
Okay,
No
I'm
worries.
sorry.
No worries. It's okay.
I wasn't paying attention.
It's hard.
Oh, that sucks.
He
I did
nods,
just puke on
He
someone.
nods and just says, I promise I am going across the Emerald Expanse. I don't think you'll ever hear of me again. That's my intention.
That's
I
if we let him go.
Cannot speak for my friend here. Motion to Nazara.
Okay. Turns and looks at you again.
But considering you assisted in making this mess here, if we were to let you go, would it not be prudent to help clean it up? You assist Yura's watch.
You see Nazar
We
kind
let
of
you
consider what you're saying and then turn to him and kind of nod. He turns and says, none of you understand what's going on. There is no helping. You can stick me in a dungeon around here if you want, but anybody here, all gone.
Well, I vote dungeon.
Or we can put him on a boat and kick him out to sea.
I mean, if we throw him in a dungeon, I don't want to be responsible for him.
We don't have to be responsible for him. He needs to be responsible for what he did to the city.
Right, and so I'm telling you everything that you want to know. I can get you to where you need to be, and I can do it without having you walk through the Kuatar Badlands.
That's what I was looking for.
Well, if you're gonna have a purpose with us, then we'll
You're
keep you alive at least.
You're
till
stuck
now.
with us then. And you
Yay,
think this
a new member!
you think
Okay.
this
Not a
display
new member,
you think this
he's-
display of combat prowess was
He's a
something.
prisoner.
Yay!
So, are you guys gonna let me go, or what?
Sure, what do we do with this guy? And I'm gonna just like start readying an eldritch blast at the,
Oh,
at the tip of
already
my
spear
finger.
over through the neck.
Oh!
Damn.
Oh! I like
Okay.
pull my fingers like oh,
We could
that answers that.
Coup de grace, no roll required. He turns and he just goes well, and right through the neck. The vomiting immediately stops. The body spasms once hard and then dies.
just let
He
it
did spit in her face.
He's like now not looking at anybody, just
Yeah.
looking at the ground. And he goes, "Look, there's a woman that you're gonna want to talk to. An arrow.
What?
An arrow.
An arrow?
Her name is Arrow.
Arrow.
She was a pirate for a while. Calls herself a wayfinder. Can get through the Badlands, knows ways beneath.
So you
And
don't
she's in the
need
city?
to lead us there then. But you can lead us to Arrow.
I can't lead you to Arrow. I'm from Dungannon. I don't need to travel here. But to get back, that's how we're going to go.
Wait, are we leaving Dungannon right now?
He turns
right
and looks at
now.
you, and I don't know.
I'm not ready to go,
We can come back, Morwen.
but I have to be here for when they get here.
Why don't you wait?
How
Can
long
we
will
have
it be?
this conversation not in front of the
No,
prisoner?
you're right. We'll pin it for later. I want to open this damn chest.
I mean, you can.
Oh no, wait! I'm waiting for Heinrich. Heinrich,
What?
come here.
What?
I want to
walk
open the
over.
chest.
Okay, there's the
keep
keyhole.
watch.
You have the key.
Okay, I'm trying.
Okay, you
I'm
turn.
Now that I
I'm
have
looking at her
supervision,
doing this.
Okay.
Is it trapped?
vision.
Is it a trapped
So
chest?
even as you kind of begin to say that, the guy says, "Don't open that. Just you look on the inside of the keyhole first. Just peek in, and from the inside, little bits of something glints off of two vials of glass. You see like a little fluid kind of shifting in each one, both colorless, but not supposed to be in a lock.
What is it?
I'm not really good with the chemistry, but two things that mix together and don't combine well.
What's in it?
Vinegar's in one. I don't know what's in the other.
No, what's in the chest though?
Oh. Well, most of what we emptied out of the vault.
Is it money?
Yeah, a lot of money.
Oh, Heinrich,
What?
do something with the stuff.
Do something with the stuff?
Yeah.
What do you mean do something with the
Look
stuff?
in the. There's like, what do you say, vinegar and stuff?
What do you think I'm supposed to
Vinegar,
do
yeah.
with this?
I don't know. Dispel it. Dispel vinegar.
No, that's not how this works.
Dispel dressing.
This is that's not how any of this works. We don't
I want the money.
you can figure that one out. Just don't break those two things together.
Is that possible? Can I open this? Is that the point? To open it without like breaking those
Are you
things?
asking me or are you asking him?
I'm asking you. Like looking at it, is this the
It's a
lock
trap.
that I can?
Yes, you can get it. However, something has been put in specifically for people who attempt to pick this lock that will break and cause
Yeah,
something
but with
to
So
happen.
I
key?
need the actual key,
Yes.
and which is not what I have in my hand.
You don't know.
Well, I mean, I'm gonna look at the lock, look at the key.
Take
I
the
know my
key,
way around
kinda
some.
push it forwards, and the the key does look like it would be too large for this chest. It does fit the keyhole. Probably a universal lock.
I'm scared.
Do
I do
it.
it?
Do
Do
it.
I do it?
Do it.
Let's
Guys,
bring
I'm gonna do it.
No, wait.
Oh.
Let's bring it outside
He
into
sees
the
you with
rain.
the key, and he just goes, "Hey, why don't you just pull the thing on the inside out and then
Oh, how do I do that? Can I like
yeah, make a sleight of hand check."
Jesus Christ, I'm so confused. Okay. Alright, so that's 31.
So you take your hand
After
and you're
all
like,
that.
"Oh, right," and your claws come out and you put them in through the keyhole and just gently, ding, on either side, you pull out one of these vials, and then
I'll
the
hold
other
one while you get the other.
Oh my
And we'll
for
move
some reason
them
I was picturing
across the room.
I heard everything you said, but I was picturing like this gooey thing just being like whoop whoop whoop.
No.
Like vinegar.
2 vials on either side of this cube.
Like with eyes, like ah.
Each one.
Holding the vials.
Exactly. Try it now.
Paul
bitch.
Newman.
Each
Paul
vial,
Newman inside the chest.
each
ready to
vial
make
is
you your
smaller than a bottle of vanilla extract, just
Yeah.
like the neck of it. Very,
Yeah.
very small.
dressing. Either gonna
Okay.
knock you out, make you poison.
All right,
something,
pull them
yeah.
out, so now it's safe, and I'm opening this damn chest.
Okay. No, it makes like a burning compound.
Oh, okay. So it would ruin what's in there.
Probably not.
Oh, so it would ruin whoever
Just the
opened
person,
it.
yeah,
see.
just the person who
Here,
opened it.
you know what? I'll give one to Akka. I think Morwen has the
I'm
other.
gonna investigate.
Make an investigation
what
check.
Yeah, I'll give you the
what
other one.
type
I
of
don't care for
alchemical
these.
ingredients
Okay.
these are.
Yeah, make an
A little
investigation
Maybe we
check
can
on
use
those.
it in the future.
A little
You
alchemy
open this chest.
experience.
And as you do, and swinging it open, you expect to see just like gold bars or something because it was an emptied out vault. For all of you, you see this golden light spill across Morwen as the light reflects off of it. There are crowns. You see like a scepter, a jeweled scepter sticking out of it.
What the
There
fuck
are
is it?
hundreds of pieces of gold. You see other elements of like bracelets and things like that. And it's this warm glow that opens up. Very much like Pulp Fiction opening the
Yeah.
case.
We good, Jules?
Hundreds of pieces of gold.
All right. Well,
First thing
I'm
in the
going to
morning, let's
start-
go turn that in and get some.
I'm gonna
money out of
start
it.
distributing it very much like one for Heinrich, one for me, one for Akka, one for me,
Zara-
Shay, one for
Zara
me,
just goes,
one for.
aside
leave it
from
in
the mathematical
chest and
issues.
let's bring this back with this guy.
I'm
I
putting
feel
on
like-
all the gold stuff I can.
I don't know about anyone else. I'm tired.
Bracelets,
Like,
armbands.
all-
I don't know about anyone else, but I'm very tired. I think we should probably bring this prisoner
Oh no,
back
I'm
with
wide
us.
awake. I'm good.
This should go to the
Everyone else.
families of the people that they killed, probably.
Yeah, that can come out of your share.
Let's bring this chest. Let's bring these notes. Let's
then
bring this
all of it.
guy. Is there anything else in this room of import? Any other clues to
Make
Zeistries
an
and the
investigation
ongoings?
check.
I mean, there's some like barrels and
Yeah, there's a
boxes.
couple
Like,
things just
like
running.
how they were doing what they're doing, what
Sure.
exactly they were doing.
Sure.
Said investigation?
Yeah.
That's shitty.
Make it an advantage. You have people helping you.
Okay,
and
cool.
second
Yeah.
advantage.
Hey, Nazara, come on over here. Like,
Yeah.
at least something like that. Oh, that's much better. Investigation is a total of 21.
Okay. So you begin to kind of case this as everybody else is like looting things, throwing up, just stabbing people in the neck. You take some time to really look around the room.
Uh-huh.
You find a old book. Reading it there, it's basically on flora and fauna of the Kuatar Badlands. It's old book. But maybe some important information or helpful information there.
Mhm, that's being read
On
this
top of the
evening.
book, there is a human skull that has been very well cleaned,
Mm-hmm.
and then melting on top of it is a candle that was lit, has gone out in the commotion.
Mm-hmm.
You see the 2 cages. There are traces of blood within them, although no longer there.
Mm-hmm.
You pop open one of the barrels. Instantly, the smell of hot iron and viscera hits you. Almost to the top, it is just blood, organs, like elements of.
The lid just goes right back on that one.
Yeah, and as you do, from behind you, the person that you have captive says, it's the same thing in the other one, mostly hearts.
Is this for the wall? Is for rituals?
It's
What do you,
material that Ash was collecting for things.
that was Ash?
The orc. You look over at the one with the hole just in the throat.
Uh-huh.
It wasn't.
Oh, okay, well, I can
the
strike-
Ash, was it?
Construct it. What
do
kind
you
of
mean,
ritual
the
was
What is it, Wilder? Would you
That was
looking
Ash
for someone?
Wilder, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, is
That's
that
who
good
we
that
were looking
killed
for.
them? Okay.
Well, no, not
We
necessarily.
could've
The,
asked
the,
questions again.
the druid named Rex is the one who we were looking for
Generally.
this one. Anyways, what
Did you say that
ritual?
out loud?
No.
Okay.
What ritual was Ash trying to perform here?
He's been making these things and then just releasing them into the streets, causing some chaos, and it gives us some room to work.
Right at the behest of Zeistries and all that.
Sorta, yeah. It's a creature that was invented somewhere up north of here in Dark Meadow.
Meadow.
A golem of parts.
Gotcha. Great. And it's been completed and is out there somewhere.
No, pieces are all right
Oh,
there.
perfect, so-
once we left, we were going to create that and leave it down here.
Gotcha. I'm just gonna like sacred flame one of the barrels right behind me without like looking at it.
Sure.
Just like start to incinerate it and like
Begins to
cleanse it.
smolder and burn. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, it's technically radiant damage. So I'm just
okay.
trying to like evaporate it. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Flash fried.
Make
Without the smell. You know what I mean?
roll for damage on that.
Okay.
That's not how radiant damage works.
Well, I'm purifying it at least.
We're about to find out.
Whee! That's
It's
gross.
like putting an egg in the microwave.
Yeah. No, that's not great. Sorry. 12.
12. You needed 10.
Okay.
You turn and you just without even looking.
Yeah.
Sacred flame.
Yeah.
The radiant flames engulf the side of this barrel. You see the barrel just splinter. As it explodes, viscera down the back wall and the floor running out. The guy turns and just goes, "Why did you do that?"
And I'll just start doing it repeatedly until all of it's gone. Okay. I'm just gonna like literally.
Just burning.
Yeah.
It smells really bad.
yeah,
It's
it
not
smells-
burning. God. Ah!
It's so it doesn't burn. What you're
not
basically
fire
doing
damage.
is you're pushing around this gore and viscera. It does like damage it in a fundamental way, and so
Right.
it's not evaporating as much as
Okay.
it's like crumbling.
Okay.
But pretty gross.
Removing it.
Yeah, and it does not smell good.
I'm leaving.
Mostly just because it's body parts.
Sure, that's fine.
I
So I have the pieces of the paper that Shay put out.
Okay.
So we can interrogate him about this later. Now, was there anything else besides
Yes.
that in the
So
barrels?
there's these two stacked crates.
Yeah.
On the top one, there's a lot of like hay and stuff, but nestled in you find 3 what look like hand mirrors, fairly small, very specifically shaped.
Okay.
They have these weird, almost not that Heinrich would know this, but like Tetris-like almost shapes. But 3 of them.
Okay.
Aside from that, pretty much all you'd find.
Okay. I'll keep all that stuff.
I think I would probably re-gag the guy
Okay. No
and
problem.
start getting him to get up out of the cage so we
Okay.
can take him with us.
Okay.
Do we have a
Do it. He
key
goes
for
with
the?
you, no
Is there
problem.
like a key for the lock on there? 'Cause they locked him in there.
The key is the same one that Morwen
Yeah.
has.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Skeleton key. I'll just take that from you. Unlock the guy out of the cage, and just leave the other 2, I guess.
Alright, I guess.
How
just
much
for
gold
the
did we
sake
get
of
from more?
time-
No, we're not gonna do that yet. We're doing the chest later. We're doing
Yeah,
the
that's
chest
what I was gonna say.
later.
Just for the sake of time, can I just take it all and then we'll just distribute it later?
Yeah. Add Sunset Suites Hall, and then a little asterisk, and I'll divvy it up later.
Go. Yeah.
All right. I
Well-
am tired.
Yeah. Let's
Where
make
are
our
we
way back.
bringing? Is he staying with Uriel's watch people or?
Oh yeah, it seems like easiest place to secure him.
Great.
And
See
I'll
you
be there
guys
keeping
in the
watch.
morning.
Oh, you're
Coming?
going back to.
Yeah.
No, I'm
gonna
good.
Stay in the place that I'm familiar with.
That's fine.
Comfortable. my
Just as
room,
familiar and comfortable with my friends
Place
here.
to bed. Yeah. I want to go sleep in my own bed, man.
Bedman.
Bedman.
Shay, Morwen, you guys need a place to stay?
I'm already out of the room.
Uriel?
Yeah,
I'm
no,
gonna
Shay's gone.
follow
Oh.
Akka.
Okay.
Keep an eye on him and eavesdrop on all of his conversations.
Okay. So you say yes, or what do you
Hang
do?
What do you
out.
say?
No, I'm
Ogle
just
tree.
like, oh, I'll come with you.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can keep talking to Ogle 3.
Yeah, we're
Sucks.
buddies.
Cool.
I like him. I'm gonna give him some of this
yeah,
gold.
keep him out of my hair. This is
Perfect. I'm just
Okay.
gonna do a quick one,
Alright.
sleight of hand without anyone noticing tomorrow, and just be like, just don't forget to tell me what you find.
What was
With
that?
what?
Oh, like message. Like
Yeah,
using
but
message, like
with
don't forget
what?
to tell me what you find out at the
Do I
Antiquities
notice
Collective.
Oh,
that?
got you. Okay.
I would say probably not, given everything else that's going on
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I obviously hear it, but I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
So Morwen,
Make any-
Akka, the 2 of you head out following Shay, which leaves Nazara and you, Heinrich.
Yeah. We can
And-
easily carry this guy back.
And
Yeah.
prisoner.
And what was his name again? Ben John.
Benjon.
Ben John. Cool.
Ben Jonjamin.
Benjamin Johnjamin. Full name, first name.
Sure.
H. Benjamin.
So we have 2 prisoners from this organization. We have Tenson and Benjon.
Yep.
Awesome. All right. Well, you're coming with us, and might have some questions for you either throughout the night and the morning, but
Good night, everybody.
that's it. Just thumbs up to him, and
Okay.
Nazar and I guess just strong arm.
Yeah, one on
start,
either
like,
side, just escort
yeah,
him out.
Yeah.
Shay, you're the first person to emerge
wait,
out
I
into
need
the
to write
night.
Burned
Still clouds overhead, although the rain seems to have subsided. The street's still wet. Where are you going?
Back up to my perch to watch and see how they disperse from here.
Okay. You leap just almost 15 feet up, first landing, and then scamper up the rest of the way. But you watch. Akka, you and Morwen head out next and make your way off in the direction of the Tufay Museum. And then Heinrich, you and Nazara last head out with this prisoner towards the Dune Top Man.
Is there any sign of Shay when we get out there?
Make a perception check.
Natural 20.
Natural 20.
Total?
For a total of 27.
27. You look around, and being a little bit familiar with Shay and kind of being in elevated places, you scan the rooftops, and it takes a second, but eventually looking almost straight up, you see looking straight down at you.
I imagine this like
Shay.
this like scowling straight down look.
You can see like half of her feet are off the ledge. It's like her heels are all that's keeping her on, but she stands there
Like-
just looking down.
If you need a place to stay. And kind of point in the
Peter Griffin.
direction.
Party
we're
at
gonna go.
Akka.
She just disappears.
Well, I tried.
I still say party at Akka's.
Fair enough. That goes into the darkness. But so all of you scatter
Yeah,
into
yeah, yeah.
Dungannon at
3
midnight,
different
in
ways.
the middle of the night.
Uh-huh.
But because it is midnight, this is where we're going to end for the evening. So thank you for hanging out with us for so far. You guys went to all different places, which is great. That's kind of,
It's custom.
yeah, no, definitely keeping up the kind of like the original Finger Gang stuff. But thank you guys very much for hanging out with us for Adventures in Alberon, session 89. Are we all back next week? So that means session 90 will be next week, which is crazy to think about. I'll throw on some little airplane lounge music. Yeah, so thanks for hanging out with us. It's been a lot of fun. Again, as a reminder, this session will be up on YouTube tomorrow. Also, every session of Adventures in Alberon is now up on Twitch. So from session 1 to 89, every single one is now up and will be there
So much content.
in perpetuity. Yeah, 347 hours of content.
That's
How's that?
crazy.
I know.
That's probably almost as much as Naruto.
That's a weird metric to use.
It's got like 1 billion episodes, right?
I don't know.
I've never.
I've never watched it.
I've never watched it because it's got so many fucking episodes.
Yeah,
You've
there's a
never
few
watched it,
animes
you're
I
still
can't.
saying that.
I can't get into
No,
because of
it's
how
got a
long
big-
they are.
I mean,
No,
it's certainly
absolutely,
more
it's
than
okay.
like Breaking Bad.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
So
end.
we have definitely
Tells
more
the
than
story, It's
Firefly.
done. Great show.
So
Sponsor.
thank you guys for hanging out with us. We do have that going up on YouTube next week. There is also a lot of new stuff in our store. I placed an order for some of that, so I should have some of that, I believe, next week to show off. We will be back next week at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Friday on twitch.tv/AlberonRPG. But until then, please stay safe out there. We'll see you next week. Good night.
Bye.
Bye.